Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Kentucky Route Zero. We are in Act 4 tonight, and we're going to be doing that and the interlude Un Pueblo de Nada. So, uh, with that said, there's nothing stopping us. Let's go. Hey, Dog Nozzle. Manual 5.4 context backlash. Yeah, the Act 3 interlude is mainly just vibes and goofs. It gives you cool stuff about the Echo River and other stuff like that, but it's not super important. Context backlash. General wear on the gestural gear mounting apparatus 5A-1 may result in undesirable play between teeth in the context and history state machine gears, causing stuttering, slippage, resetting, skipping. Alright, so I'm Will. Well, this is not at all helpful. Manual. Table of contents. Hold on, let me fix the volume there a little bit. 0. Introduction. 1. Installation. 2. Orientations. 4. Order of operations. Oh, okay. 3. The passage of time. 5. Gestures. 6. Final notes. That'll do, book. He throws the manual into the river. My savior, our friend here is in a bad way. Any insight? Junebug, I try to stay clear of high voltage these days. Time to put that mammoth out to pasture, Will. Oh, I feel certain she's got a few trips left in her. If only she had a more capable surgeon. Sadly, mechanics are in short supply down here. I think the setting is too romantic. It scares them off. What brings you down to the Echo tonight? I always end up here, eventually. The river is like that. It always has been. We picked you up at the Bureau tonight. Never seen you that far upriver before. I hope that doesn't mean you've been traveling on the Zero. Yeah, have you been there? The Zero? Oh, no, not me. This old river rat steers clear of weird highways. I've been traveling this river for more than half my life, more or less alone. I think I've seen it change quite a bit in all those years, but I can't say for sure. The water has a peculiar way of making a person forgetful. Some nights I remember a place, but it's full of strange new people. And some nights I meet an old friend on an unfamiliar shore. I wonder which kind of night this is. Act 4, Scene 1. The Mucky Mammoth. That's the name of the ship we're on, or the boat, whichever is technically correct. Let's talk to Kate. Ooh, there's a dog. It's like a Doberman, maybe? I think. How's that cold river spray treating you? I thought I saw you squinting. It's hard water, you know? Hard on the eyes. It still irritates mine a little, and I'm piloting a tugboat through it 6 nights a week. Don't be too shy to close them in public. Your eyes, I mean. People will just assume you're thoughtful. You need tea. Let's mix up some slippery elm, instant coffee, and dried spring agaricus. Just add swamp snake, and that'd be a love potion. I'm teasing. Or am I? So, how far are we from Dogwood Drive? The Echo is dicey tonight. Bad luck for you. Expect waves and diversions. Dogwood Drive is by the Silo Mail stop, but we may need to spend some time on the indirect route before we hit your stop, okay? Yeah, I can see that, Dog Nozzle. It can be tough to keep track of characters. It looks better to me. I mean, just they are bigger on screen to me when I look at it, but they are kind of nondescript due to the art style. And there's other business. Mail to drop off, garbage to pick up, and a few favors to execute, all dotted on the riverbanks from here to there. I hope you enjoy the trip on our little mammoth. Take advantage of all the amenities: fresh air, cozy bunks, hot tea, the video room. There are some pretty interesting tapes down there, actually. Unusual, I mean. Weird. Watch out that VCR doesn't take your hand off, though. It's untrustworthy. Okay, unusual, weird. Are you talking about porno? What kind of weird tapes? There's one with this woman. She's just like standing there talking. She can't really hear her, and there's this awful hum. See for yourself. It's down there somewhere. Hey, do me a favor. Go ask Will how the repairs are going and if he needs anything. Coming up on the next stop here. Just refueling and picking up a few things. I could grab a bolt or some wire or something. Whatever he needs. Well, eyes on the road. Well, singing quietly. For we are old and whiskey fed. And Shannon. Oh! What gears? What gears? Probably. Who knows? First thing I tried anyway. Down here by this little blue box, I took all the gears out and dried each one by hand. Then I loaded them back in again. That took care of the grinding sound, but her trunk keeps doing that sparking, clanging, clanking, weeping thing. To be honest with you, I'm not really qualified for this work. Kate's a friend. You know how it is, don't you? How do you two know each other? So, ever walk through rolling farmland? Just drove, I guess. Right. Nobody does it unless it's their land to farm. I mean, they'll walk from barn to tractor or tractor to truck. You know. Well, I sure did. I slipped under or over fences and I walked barefoot with the seeds when they were just planted. Filled the earth with my toes. Hey, I should tell you where I left my shoes. Did you know I'm a classically trained organist? It's true. Look at these long fingers and pedal-gripping toes. It doesn't matter. A minor in French literature earned me a position teaching at Arcade de Zola at the university. Well, some shitty governor cut state funding for our department, and I was demoted to mopping floors, running wires through walls, or in dangerous places. I even operated the soundboard at the student theater. I left my shoes there, at the university. It was a protest. Walk without shoes for something important or tragic. I ended up by the shore, and soon I was drifting along the Echo. It ran for a while above ground then. It doesn't anymore. But I prefer subterranean waters anyway. Kate brings me along, and I record what I see and hear. I try to help with maintenance. I drop off the mail and pick up the trash. On occasion, I take the helm. Anyway, that's all I try to remember anymore. I listen to the river stories, and my own stories get fainter and fainter. Well, I'll just keep drawing gears, I guess. Ezra runs up to Shannon. Whoa, slow down. It's slippery up on deck. Do you have batteries? Yeah, of course. What for? Johnny said I could use his tape recorder, but it needs a battery. Oh, fun. Well, Shannon searches her pockets. Here's 4 different kinds. Surely one of these should fit. Thank you. You got your batteries, small man. Go get you some tape. The June bug. Really? You were entranced. You don't remember this? It's okay. We've all seen a lot of concerts. Hold on a sec. But I've noticed some just stuff going on. Cyrano opened. His tape machine was broken or something. It got really cosmic. Right, at the flower shop. I remember that show. Just sorry, Clara. Well, you have a second chance to hear it tonight. To Ezra. That was fast. Got the batteries? Let's see. Perfect. This one will do. So you hit this button here to record. Hold it right here so you don't cover the microphone with your hand. Hold on one second. I want to check something. It's looking a little jittery on occasion. Come on. Hmm. Okay, there we go. Hold on, says it's running at. Hold on. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay. I bet you'll find a lot of good. Okay, hold it right here so you don't cover the microphone with your hand. I bet you'll find a lot of good sounds just around the tugboat. There's plenty of tape in there, so don't be stingy with it. Just record anything that catches your ear. It really changes the way you listen for the better. I mean, how long is the trip? We've got a ways to go, and this boat makes pretty frequent stops. I think Kate said we're moving pretty slowly tonight, too. Weather. Kate said we could stop at the rum colony. Cyrano's playing. Well, that's ideal. I'm supposed to meet a lady there to look at some old engine parts about 3 hours ago. 3 hours goes fast at the rum colony, ma'am. I bet she's still there. I hope we don't stop there too long. My concert is soon. I don't want to keep them waiting. It's river time. Nobody expects you to be punctual. Ezra. Hey, why don't you give that tape recorder a try? See if that cat over there has anything he wants to say. I often use found sounds in my music. If you find some interesting sounds tonight, you can help me out. Yeah, oh god, look at Conway. His arm now. Oh, TV noises. Oh, I'm Conway now. Yeah. The whole thing with hard times being the skeleton people. You know, it's the strangest thing. I can't remember why I came up here. Maybe you should slow down? Nah, I'm good. It's just that thing about, what was it? When you walk through a door, when you go into the kitchen for something, and as soon as you pass from one room into another, you forget what you wanted. You have to walk back out just to remember, like you left a part of your brain behind. Hey, I wonder if I could follow that brain-crumb trail all the way back to the room I was born in. Conway cranes his neck over the rail. We were driving for hours. Get any sleep? We found beer. There's a cooler full down there. They say it just floated by. If you believe that. Got caught on some netting. And they hauled it aboard. A bounty. Anyway, there's a sign by the cooler. Take what you need and leave the rest. Shannon leans over the railing and looks at the river below. It does look cold, doesn't it? Yeah, better keep that kid away from the edge. The person could easily fall in. He's been exploring. Should I be worried? I'm fine. Sure you are. What's up, huh? You look like there's something you want to ask. Fine, you can ask it. One question. Do you really have to go work at hard times? Didn't seem so bad, did it? Way to live, I mean. Going to bed, eating in the cafeteria. Not like I have a choice. I think you do have a choice. Got to repay my debt. Hell, I should be grateful for the opportunity. If you want to die with any dignity, you've got to settle up. That's why it's such a damn shame when people go sudden. Oh, poor Conway. He's getting brainwashed into it. Yeah, the hard times and the people there. That's the moment where the game really elevates for me. Yeah, they went back to the bureau and I forget who it was. They were looking for. I mean, they're still looking for Dogwood Drive, but the boat showed up at the bureau and they got on there. I'm sure I talk too much. Everyone on this river does. The problem is that we listen twice as much as that. We're only telling you half of the stories we hear. Yeah, this boat is they have to follow the echo to get to Dogwood Drive, and this is the boat that came by to take them. Kate told me that I ought to have been a photographer. She said, "You have an uncanny way of having been in the place at the time the thing happened there. That's the hardest part of taking a photograph anyway." Yeah, it's at the very end after the distillery. Nice of her to say, but it isn't true. Though I know just about every story on this river. Most of them I've picked up second, third, or fourth hand, and so on. Listening, see? Now I know what you're going to ask, so I'm going to answer it. Yes, I'm sure they're all true. I personally believe a story gets more true as it's tossed around from brain to brain, and the whole community brings their insight to bear on the brittle facts of experience. There are a few Echo River stories I witnessed directly. Saw that big owl migration pass through. You might have heard about that. I was there when the old train station flooded. I saw the ghost of Stephen Bishop brew up a batch of white lightning on a raft. Or anyway, talked to a few sailors who'd recently crossed paths with him, and I suspect sampled his wares. One night, when I was working on the Mucky Mammoth, we picked up a gaggle of passengers headed down to a mail drop by the Silo of Late Reflections. I knew a couple of them in passing, a pair of traveling musicians who I often encountered on the river. The others were strangers to me at the time. A young woman, a small boy, and an old man whose name I didn't catch. And a smelly old dog. We docked at a gas station so the Mammoth could refuel. Yeah, it is interesting. It's a story. Ezra followed Junebug and Johnny into the gas station. Act 4, Scene 2. A gas station. Just a gas station. We cut it close. I usually find this place upriver. Everybody's on the lake tonight. Gas station moves around? Sure, it's not anchored or anything. Could be anywhere up and down the Echo. You just kind of run into it when you need it, or hopefully a little before you need it. I usually stop here once a night, though to be honest, I'm not sure it's even the same one. Doesn't have a name or anything, and I never really pay attention to who's behind the counter. Anyway, it's nice to see you two. Most of my regular passengers must have gotten held up elsewhere in their journey tonight. It's that storm, I think. Watching Ezra sprint past. Look at him go. That kid has a lot of energy. It's got to be past his bedtime or something, right? I don't think he has a bedtime. He's a maverick. Sounds familiar. You don't have any of your own, I mean. No, I guess not. I just realized you two come through here so often. We chat about all kinds of stuff, but I never thought to ask about family. We're all the family we need. That's sweet. So, how about that storm upstairs? Did you two get caught in it? I heard it kind of roamed around, uncertain. I'm sure we'll hear all about it tomorrow. Flooding, property damage, probably killed a few tomatoes. It's got the river churning and everyone headed to the lake here, where the water's calmer. I myself don't mind navigating a choppy river. Not at all. I've got a good feel for it. Plus, it's better for fungal growth. High water consumes the cave moths, and their wet wings clump together into these little balls of nutrient-dense mushroom food. Jammed by current here and there between the rocks, you have never seen a mushroom grow like on a soggy cave moth carcass. Amazing. If I could get a day off, Val and I would be out there all day tomorrow to harvest. I mean it. They'll be ready by tomorrow. The mushroom will grow just as fast as you can pump water into it. Hey, are you two headed out this way tomorrow? Maybe I could send Val ashore with you for a few hours. She's got a remarkable nose for mushrooms. You won't even need to know what to look for. Put her bag around her neck and she'll just bring them back to you. Yeah. We don't know where we'll be tomorrow. Should have figured. Seems you two are always on the move. It does seem that way. Silence. So, I should get back aboard. No rush. I just want to brew some tea before we get underway. Headed into the station. Thought I'd grab some black coffee for the old man. He's looking a bit waterlogged. Sure, don't want him falling asleep on you. He'll be alright. He seems like the type who can hold his liquor. Seems like he has a little experience, I mean. Hey, while you're in there, could you remind the gas station attendant this fuel is on my tab, charged to the Mucky Mammoth? Oh, and Will wanted a scratch ticket. Thanks. Johnny to Junebug, I think I'll just watch the lake for a bit, ma'am. Attendant, looking for crystals? Why do you assume I'm looking for crystals? We've got them on sale. All kinds of folk come in here looking for crystals. There's a few over there with milky white shocks through the middle, like you caught a piece of a cloud. People seem to like those a lot. Yep. Popular crystals. Work on the mammoth? I can add it to your tab. Oh, you know the tugboat? The captain, Kate, said I'd have to remind you. Sure, they're here every night. It's okay. I have one of those faces. Forgettable. I wouldn't say that. It's okay. I've learned to accept it. In fact, I've learned to cherish it. There's dignity in being forgotten, letting the crowd flow around you unspoiled. I used to live in a city. I mean, a real city. Cleveland, Ohio. I had some family money then, and I didn't have to work. I lived in hotels. In daylight, I walked wherever the people were. My only duty was to the crowd. I was its observer, its historian, its detective, its poet. Well, the money ran out, and I dispersed with the rest of them. I took my duties with me here, the Lake Letha and the Echo River. I live behind this counter. Anonymous, invisible, but I live with dignity. And yourself? No, I don't think so. I don't blend in. Not so easy to forget, I'd say. See now that you're right. Well, that's yours to bear then. We keep all the crystals on that shelf over there. Buy one, get one free, of equal or lesser symmetry. Crystals are rough, dirty. Some are damp. They must have come out of the river. Johnny seemed distant. He's excited about Kate's dog, too. Junebug tries to scrape some green algae off a larger specimen, examining it for the kind of cloudy inner formation the attendant said was so popular. It's always just been the two of us on the bike. You and a few numbers are woven through the algae. Even supposing it was possible to take on another passenger long term. This isn't algae at all. It's a decayed plastic bag caught on the rock. Norm to attendant. Shit, that flood water washed you halfway up out to sea. I was looking for you down by New Königsberg, same as usual. But ain't nobody there, and the river's deep as an elephant's. Noticing Junebug. Oh, didn't see you there, ma'am. Pardon my language. So, it deep as an elephant's dick? Is that what he was gonna say? Where are you headed? Well, in fact, I'm headed right here. Glad to have found it at last. Extending his hand warmly. I expect you must be Loretta. Enchanted to meet you. Sorry I'm late. Hey, is that coming on too flowery or something? Enchanted? Repeating it now. I feel a little silly. I'm not Loretta, but I think you'll do fine with enchanted. Well, thanks for saying so. And now I'm double embarrassed. You picked a funny place to meet. You're probably right about that. I guess I thought it'd be like neutral territory, and we both live on the river. It's not very romantic, though, is it? I met Loretta on the computer. We met each other there, I mean. Or I guess we spoke through the computer and agreed to meet. I don't know the terminology. I haven't dated in quite a while. Back when I met Greta, that's my wife, excuse me, my ex. Or maybe I am her ex? I don't know how to say it. Anyway, back then there wasn't even such a thing as computers at all. I mean, I guess there probably was, but I never heard of one. I worked in textiles. I didn't know the Letha was a thing in Greek mythology. And isn't Echo in Greek mythology too? I forget exactly what her story is, but it's something, it's tragic, like in the classical Greek style. Like, she could never talk to anyone. She could only echo what other people said or something like that. So, here I am. Didn't work out with Greta. She left me. I'm sure I can't blame her. Damn it all, I guess I probably missed her. I wonder if she'll agree to meet me again. I'm sure she'll understand, with the weather and all. Nice of you to say so. Well, I guess I'll head on back. Hey, supposing Loretta doesn't want to see me after all. My card is full. Oh, no, sorry, that's not what I meant. Actually, I wanted to ask you for some advice. I had to type up a sort of autobiography for the Echo. By trying to protect Zeus, as he had ordered to do, endured Hera's wrath, and Hera made her only able to speak the last words spoken to her. Yeah. I had to type up sort of autobiography for the computer date, and I spent a lot of time on it, but I only got one reply, and that was Loretta herself. I was happy to meet her, but supposing she's lost interest now, do you think you could maybe give me some feedback? It's only a paragraph or so. I have it all memorized. Spent so damn long writing it. Okay, here's how it goes. I'm a good-natured man, retired, and spend most of my time sailing the Echo River, riding currents of subterranean gas and that strange invisible wind that moans out of the small tunnels along the bank. Seeking a companion to map the river with me. I have 2 grown children, but they live far away. No goofballs. Okay, what do you think? What was that about goofballs? I mean, like, serious inquiries only. You might miss out on some really great goofballs. You may be right about that. You'll be fine. Alright, thanks for your help, ma'am. Really renewed my confidence. I'm ready to get back on that computer. You have a good night now. What's left of it, anyway. What's that? It's a crystal. I bought it for you. Wow, thank you, ma'am. Hey, could you hold on to it for a minute? I'm going to look around inside. Wish me luck. Good luck. Oh, I'm Johnny now. Hey, man. How's your night? Quiet? Where are you headed? Helping some new friends make a delivery. Or along for the ride, anyway. Well, even if you're not doing the heavy lifting, or navigating, or whatever, passenger contributes to a journey too. I never travel, but I do love travelers. That's what I like about this job. Travelers come to me. You ever get lonely here? Yes, I do. Well, let me know if I can help you find anything. Ow. Glory, it is good to be among friends. Suit yourself. Oh no. Glory, it is good to be among friends. What are you so excited about? I can't help it. Every time I step onto that boat alone, I think this could be the very last time. Then every time I come ashore, back among people, I think solemnly, Glory, it is good to be among friends. Why got on the boat in the first place? It's a ritual of remembrance for me. Tonight, particularly so. It's my birthday. I am 5 years old. You know why I say that? Well, I'm going to tell you. 5 years and some days ago, I set out on the Echo River, alone, or so I thought at the time. I was looking for an ice floe. They are occasionally rumored to travel our humble artery on their way from who knows where to who knows where. Who knows why? It's a mystery. An hour into the journey, my lantern gave out. Now, I always carry 3 or 4 spares. You'll never catch me in the dark again. Lesson learned, buddy. That night, when that lantern went out, stuck in the dark, kept my arm extended, running my fingers along the cave wall, trying to keep my bearing as best I could and at least make sure I wasn't going in circles. Just prayed I'd find another traveler who knew his way back to the lake or above ground, or even just a crack in the rock to get a glimpse of moonlight. I had a large bag of apples with me. After a long while, maybe a day, I was getting weak, so I took my hand down from the rock to tear the bag open. Well, when I reached back out, I couldn't find that cave wall anymore, or any other. I was totally unmoored, buddy. Totally adrift. And it was so dark. I started counting time and apples eaten. I drifted in despair for 4 apples. Then I schemed and planned and dreamed for 2 apples. Finally, I came to accept my fate. Lost at sea, and this phase, I think, would have continued indefinitely had I not come down to that very last damn apple. Picture me, feeling around in the empty bag, certain that somehow there was another one of those fist-sized chunks of life-giving fruit, already softened by time and probably an unappetizing brown. Nope, that was it. Just as I was about to bite into my last meal, I felt a tickle on my upper lip. It hatched right then. Couldn't have been a moment later or I would have eaten it. My last apple was infested by a damn fruit fly maggot. Well, that should have been the end of it. I should have eaten that apple, and that fly while I was at it, and put an end to our little food chain suicide pact. But I waited, out of mercy. After all, this fly was basically a newborn child, right? Gross insect child. Still a child, right? Born into darkness and famine, hungry and alone. I mean, can you imagine that? No other flies out there on the boat. Never would be. No other flies to welcome him into the world. I mean, no fly culture, no fly society, no fly history. A true orphan. I started to get depressed just thinking about it all. Worked out a thick tear, I'm not ashamed to say. Well, that fly landed on my cheek, right under my left eye. Right on that salty teardrop. And then, blinding glory, his ass lit up like a candle. That wasn't a fly, buddy. That was a damn lightning bug. So, that's how come I'm here today with you folks. Only because I found my way out of that strange river cave by the dim-lit rear of some orphan insect, hatched out of my last rotten apple. Glory, it is good to be among friends. my Johnny talk your ear off out here? She's talking to the dog. I suspect there are some things he can only say to animals. I guess that's just how people... oh, I'd like to think he could say anything to me. That guy's a trip, that gas station attendant. Did you talk to him? It's funny. He actually reminds me of that frog we had for a little bit. We had for a bit. That frog you had. I like to think he was part of the family, you know? Okay, so how does that gas station attendant remind you of a frog? Oh, I don't know, because he liked to talk, I guess. Maybe we should pick up another one? Frog or a cat or an iguana or something. Or maybe a third person to travel with? Huh. Now that would be a whole new adventure, wouldn't it? You and me, we're good together. Safe. Free. You know what I mean? We can try stuff out. Change our clothes, swap parts around, just play. I'm not lonely, just curious. With another person to play with, what else could we be? You may be right, Cricket. You really think so? Wow, I thought I'd have to wear you down a little, like I did with the gerbils. Oh, that's Kate. Time to hit the road. River, I mean. See that small brick building? Used to be an upholstery shop. Now it's inhabited by a very skilled taxidermist whose art is greatly in demand. When it was an upholstery shop, it didn't see nearly as much business. The old shop's name has been lost to time and weather. This was decades ago. The only trace of it now is the grade frame of an old sign behind the new lettering, which now reads Trapper, Stalker, and Sportsman, and then below, smaller, no specimen is too exotic, no arrangement too fanciful. Some of the upholstery equipment is still there too, and still sees active use. Elise is the resident artist, though she's not the owner of the shop. It's owned by her aunt, Ida. Ida has very little to do with the day-to-day. She's busy with other endeavors, mostly the restaurant she and her husband run on Lake Leth. Shannon followed the other travelers ashore to a drowsy beachside bar called the Rum Colony. Act 4, Scene 3. The Rum Colony. Yep, sounds like him. June booked Shannon. Our friend Cyrano is booked here tonight. He's pretty good. He's a wizard. Wizard of the lapped steel guitar. Are you two coming ashore? Oh, sure. We'll be up in a minute. You couldn't hold me back. Oh, I don't know. Kate says just to wander back whenever. This is a take it easy kind of stop. She doesn't even blow the foghorn to round up the crew here. No point. Something about this spot is like wax in the air when it comes to timetables and responsibilities. I was supposed to meet someone here earlier tonight about some bike parts. Hope she's still around. Oh, I'm sure she is, ma'am. Half sleeping into a fragrant mug with all the other wayward sailors. Oh, this is beautiful. This is idyllic. Hello. Happy to be in the here and now. I heard a shuffling. Are you dragging your feet or just enjoying the sand between your toes? Deep in thought, I guess. I think you have something weighing on you, and I respect that enough to not to press the subject. We're always being pressured to talk about our problems. It's all over the radio and the self-help section of the bookstore. My ethos is to just sit with it, alone inside of yourself. My spiritual advisor says, if something is boring after 2 minutes, try it for four. And I think that applies to any other dissatisfaction just as well. I wanted to ask you something. Thought of it earlier, but it didn't. Yeah, it's like a tropical beachside bar. I wanted to ask you something. Thought of it earlier, but it didn't seem like the right time. I'm sure you know what I'm getting at. You want to know where we're going. Oh no, I don't really think about that kind of thing, but I see you have a purpose. Well, the Echo carries pilgrims as well as drifters. I think you'll get to wherever you're going. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not so sure, actually. Huh, I'll be damned. An untouched drink sits on a table, forgotten or abandoned, or simply wasted. Yeah, look, Conway's got a lay on. There she is. You have to try one of these flower drinks. I feel like I could drink 100 of them. Not too sweet, not too strong, you know? A real session drink. We'll be scraping you off the beach. Nah, it's not one of those. Not one of those really strong drinks. Just sort of doesn't taste like a flower. I mean, not like a flower smells. You know, perfume, sickly sweet, like a star thistle flower. You know, my dad was obsessed with those awful weeds. We had a small house just about leaned up against a hill, and every spring that hill would explode with yellow star thistle, and he'd tear into them. Angry, I mean. Really offended by it. He said they were an invasive species, like foreign squatters on his land or something. I used to think he was such a stupid old man to take it so personal. Star thistle. Oh, they kind of look like dandelions, like the yellow dandelions, but they've got spikes or spines or whatever you call them on them. I used to think he was such a stupid old man to take it so personal. After he died, I mean a few years after, I came by the house again. It was spring, but I didn't see a single yellow flower on that hill. Must have finally got them. Or maybe they followed him home. More old stuff. I'm drowning in old stuff tonight. Feels like I've got it piled up around me, all around me, like one of those old guys you hear about who never threw anything away. You know what I mean? Don't worry about all that stuff. Just try to stay in the here and now. Yeah, it's a nice idea. But I'll tell you what I'm learning tonight. I don't belong in the here and now. That check's been cashed. Sorry, I'm not making sense, am I? I just mean to say I'm can't look at anything without remembering something else, and then that reminds me of something else, and I'm buried in it. I just need to get my head clear for a minute, get a clear view of the day, get oriented. There was a time when I felt this way, I'd bite the bullet, try to sober up and get a job. Is that why you're going to work for the distillery? Hmm, maybe it is. Seems like a pretty simple answer, right? Just follow the work as long as you can. Hey, you've got me all figured out. Hey, I'm going to sit and look at the water for a minute. I'll talk to you later. Don't be a stranger. And first, Shannon mistakes the iridescent glimmer for a seashell washed up from the lake. Maybe some fresh water relative of the abalone, or even a pearl. But it's only a trading card. It must have been valuable to someone, where it wouldn't be printed on this lustrous material. Whatever was on it is mostly worn away. All that's left is the shiny backing and the words Gleaners. Forward. Is there anything else? This way? Can't seem to go any further. Bureau folks. Lewis yelling, "Water's fine. Invigorating. Makes me want to run. I could gallop up and down this beach like a horse." Clerk foam to Metstein. What's he yelling about? Clerk Metstein. Wants to run on the beach like a horse, he says. To Shannon. Oh dear, what's in these drinks? Your friend's laying in the sand over there. Oh, you folks work at the bureau. Clerk Bohm. We're celebrating. We just hit a big milestone, you know. The clerks both pause, waiting for the other to speak. Well, tell her about it. I don't know anything more than you do. It wasn't part of my caseload. Well, it wasn't part of mine. I wonder just what we're celebrating. It doesn't matter. Lewis yelling, "Invigorating!" Yelling to Lewis, "Catch anything, Lewis?" So, did you find what you were looking for? With Lula, I mean. It's a work in progress. I know what you mean. I've been working on... Lewis yelling, "I think I will go for a run along the beach, as soon as I'm finished with this drink." Try not to yell so loud, Lewis. I'm afraid you'll shake the ceiling loose. Something glints black in the flashlight's beam. Shannon brushes sand off a damaged VHS tape. The smudged label on the spine reads, "Private. Do not watch. Do not erase." Styrofoam cup is half buried in the sand, miraculously intact. Still has some coffee in it. Maybe it came from the bar. Or maybe someone dropped it here on their way to the bar. Maybe they weren't even headed to the bar originally. Drank their coffee too fast and needed a stiff counterbalance. Shannon thinks about the war of liquids in the stomach. War of liquids, I love that. Coffee to start a day, liquor to end it, apple cider vinegar to patch up the battlefield. Her mouth feels dry. She thinks about all the nervous casualties of the liquid war. Hums the alchemist's transmuting day into night. She thinks about a chalky gray-pink liquid her mother kept for upset stomachs. That was stored in a coffee cup, too. The liquid war. Yeah, that's as far up as I can go. The rum colony. Hatch. Junebug. Hey, guess who I just saw like an hour ago? I don't even care. How are you, Patch? Oh man, Carl had that gig for a moment at AAA Burgers, but they went out of business. If our numbers were better here, he could just work on his record and it'd be fine, but you know how it is. For now, he's selling flowers on the river. Say hi if you pass him. Hey, any of your friends want a drink? I've got time. Busy night, but everyone's deep in their straws by now. What have you been mixing up? Let's see, what's good tonight? My Dark Heaven? What's that like? Chill a tall glass with a little fine sugar at the bottom, and just keep pouring in gold rum till it starts to turn blue. Add sea salt, sugar, and blue curacao. Some folks like grapefruit juice. I always include a little umbrella. What else you got? The aged rum noir. What's that like? 1 shot light rum, 2 shots dark rum. Orgeat syrup. Stare at it real close for a while. Throw a little umbrella on top. What else you got? Frozen toes. 1 shot spice rum, 2 shots of gold rum, sea salt, refrigerate. Throw an orange peel on top. I'm gonna see how long he can go for. Suffering and fragrant. 1 part lime juice, few parts spiced rum. Throw a toothpick on there to soften the blow. Suffering zombie on the beach. Just enough aged rum to make your inner ear vibrate. Then add simple syrup and lime juice to taste. Blend. That's it. Dark Devil? Yeah, I'm fine. No drinks for us, thanks. No problem. See you around. Sunny. Hey, did you hear the ice caps are melting? I mean the polar ice caps, the ones all the way at the top. Dawn to Shannon. Don't listen to him, hon. He's all doom and gloom tonight. Don't listen. Ha! That's the answer, Dawn. Well, what else can you do? Someday all of this will be underwater. We'll all be drowned. What can you do? Maybe it's better that way. Great. Another pessimist. You two have fun. I'll be drowning in this Mai Tai. Shannon. He's just in a dark mood because the bar is crowded tonight. He likes to spread out. You know, toxic runoff has decimated the deer population, right? I should go. Sonny, you're insufferable. Toxic runoff. It's his latest rant, but I'm not surprised by anything anymore. Before this, it was bovine growth hormones and global warming. Nah, he's harmless. I just don't know him anymore, that's all. He takes bits and pieces of things he reads and synthesizes them all into some grand theory, and it's always the end of the world. But who could know that stuff, right? We can't even predict the weather. I mean, if you could take all these little pieces and predict how they're all going to interact, well, you know everything. I'll tell you what I do with that kind of knowledge. When I first met a man, I look at his shoes and the kind of books he reads, what he eats for breakfast, and I make damn sure we weren't doomed to spend our twilight years greedily emptying Mai Tais and arguing about toxic runoff. Well, you know what they say about hindsight. Here's to a better yesterday. I am so glad this is Cyrano. I am so glad to see you. These kooks are bumming me out, man. See that guy in the sand over there? He rolled up, kind of off center, you know, kind of leaning on the stage here, and he was like, what kind of strings are those? Steel or nylon? He's just drunk. Oh, believe me, I know. You gotta be cool about it. Or just get a drink and stay in your chair, man. If you're gonna drink like that, just drink. I mean, don't make it my problem. Hey, how's that new tape going? Oh, yeah, it's good, man. I mean, it's okay. Everything's recorded, but I still want to do another pass on it. Maybe work on the mix. But it's no rush on that because I don't have the cash for blank tapes right now anyway. Patch threw me some bookings, so I'm trying to fund it with tips. But, you know, we're all paying a premium for blank media these days. Everyone's afraid we're dubbing garbage off the radio, so they only sell blank tapes in pallets or overpriced 3-packs. Totally cut out the small labels and self-publishers. Crystal and Gordon are just recording over old tapes for their new one. Can you believe that? Save some cash, I guess, but you're always going to have old frequencies bleeding through. It's just chemistry, man. Hey, speaking of which, I'm about mid-set here. Can you take the can around while I play this next one? It's on the tape. I think you'll like it, man. Thanks. She didn't have to do that. It had to hurt. That's the way it goes. The unsteady steadying the unsteady. There's probably a $5 bill somewhere just floating up and down the river from tip jar to musician, tip jar to musician, like an eternal ferry of good intentions. These two are pretty reliable. Where does their money come from anyway? Government check, maybe? Then they'd only tip like that on the 1st and 15th. Maybe they found stereos or something. $0. This guy's keeping some odd company tonight. Better just to let him be. Ooh, 15. These kooks are really going for it. It's good. You can't always hope for much with these fly-by-night crowds. Would have been some deep tiki fanatics getting uptight about Cyrano's tape machine or something. These folks are tourists wherever they go. Hold on, let me... There's something off with VSync just ever so slightly. Let me... Come on. Hold on. Okay, let me... Caller. So, yeah, listen, we got a problem down here. What's the problem? Man, it's all messed up. I tried realigning that big sewer grate under the livestock pen like you said, right? Who is this? Damn thing flooded, man. It's even worse than before. All I'm saying is, we've got to get these computers out of here. Who is this? I mean, we're running out of time here, man. Hey, I forget. Does that big green valve dump water or sewage? You told me earlier, but I've been so stressed it just kind of flew out of my mind. Okay, I'm just gonna live with it. So should I turn that valve? Yes. All right, you're the boss. Let me... Come on, AMD. Work with me here. It's not being cooperative. Come on. Junebug. Well, that was a pleasant detour. Yes, ma'am. Shannon, ready to get moving? How about you round up the old man if you can tear him free? Yeah, you're right about that. I never quite thought of it that way. Who are you talking to? Noticing Shannon for the first time. Oh! Nah, it's nothing. Hey, let's get out of here. Work to be done, right? It's easy to miss, but beneath that quarter-acre swarm of moths, that's Atticus theocampa, the rough tunnel moth. Their diet is mostly constrained to smaller insects, but they make an exception for sunflowers. It is a quarter-acre sunflower orchard. Beneath that sunflower orchard, there are two small lots with small houses, positioned so they just about butt right up against each other. The houses are empty now of human life. There's no sign of a person or anything living except for moths and overgrowth. There are some pipes bolted into the cave wall near the perimeter, and a few stone scars where other pipes have been ripped away by scavengers. These ones supported the large grow lamps that fed the sunflowers. The lamps are gone now. Once this crop of sunflowers is picked away, it's unlikely anything else will grow here but lichen, moss, and rock formations. The rough tunnel moth will move on. The houses will be visible again, at least until somebody strips them for building materials, or the river washes them away. The houses were once inhabited by two sisters. Why they built their houses so close together, or lived in any proximity at all, is a mystery, since they clearly despised one another. Some think they were tricked into buying the houses, maybe by an unscrupulous real estate agent, or, more likely, a concerned family member. It stands to reason this sororal rift would have sent ripples of discomfort through the rest of the familial pool. Anytime these sisters were in the same room, the tension was incendiary. Or so I hear. All that energy had to go somewhere. Both sisters had the same idea. They took up gardening. Both cultivated sunflowers, an improbable crop for this location. Too improbable to be coincidence. Maybe the sunflower had some special meaning for them. Maybe when one sister saw her rival sowing the impossible seeds, she knew at once she couldn't bear to be outdone. Which sister had the greener thumb? We'll never know. The stalks tangled, the roots knotted, and the seeds mixed. Those gangly sunflowers merged the two lots into one undifferentiated field. The two sisters moved out, probably around the time the moths started showing up. Of course, there was no selling the lots then, overgrown and bug-chewed as they are. In fact, if those sisters ever tried to sell, they'd be in for a rude shock. Not long ago, a property tax clerk, having seen the two adjoining lots registered to the same last name, presumed they belonged to the same owner and erased the legal border between them. Clara, Kate, and I stopped to do some business by telephone. Act 4, Scene 4. You still there, Dog Nozzle? A phone. Oh, it's the same phone. Of course it is. I guess we're gonna be here for a minute. Looks like they have a few calls to make. I should probably call someone too. Oh yeah? Who are you calling? Hold on, let me... That video is still bugging me. Ah! It's gotta be full screen for me. Otherwise, I can't see it. I should call Julian. Oh, wow. He's got a phone up there? I bet they all share a phone, right? All the birds? The big bird phone up in the sky? That's ridiculous. He uses the one at the museum. Makes sense. Well, guess I'll head back aboard. Might see if I can find any of the good stuff stashed in the... Maybe in the spice cabinet? Maybe in the medicine cabinet? That's where it belongs. Hell, who am I talking to? Don't listen to me, kid. I'll see you in a few. It's just... System. You have 23 new messages. Oh, he's calling the bureau. There's a bear.
I
Message.
remember going to a house in Aroostook County, Maine. I was two. We were moving, and we were driving up in a white Nissan station wagon with faux wood paneling. And it was the first time that I'd seen the house that I was going to live in for the next 7 years.
Will listens to the next message.
Being washed in the bathroom sink. I was just parking my car. I had to parallel park it. The street that I live on was full, but there was a no. But it just got cold today for like the first time in a long time. So I had the heat on. And whenever you have the heat on in an old car, it definitely smells a certain way. It smells kind of like, it almost smells, you can like smell that it's hot, and you can feel it too, but the smell that it is like from the car itself, like from the engine. And there's been a lot of smoking going on in that car, so it's not exactly a pleasant smell, but it's definitely strong and it's definitely there. And with the windows down, you can also smell that it's cold. So you get both. And that feeling together is super familiar if you've been in old cars a lot. Anyway, I was parking and I had to go in and out about it like 3 times, but when I finally finished parking, it was like perfect. Both wheels against the curb. And that's when I had like the double memory of when I first learned how to drive. My mom taught me how to parallel park. And she told me the story about when her dad, who was a motorcycle cop, taught her how to parallel park. And every time she parallel parked, he would take out a dime. And if he could fit the dime between the wheel of her car and the curb of the street, then she had to do it again. She didn't do that for me, but every time that I got upset about having to do it again, she would tell me that at least I didn't have to be a dime's distance away from the curb. I learned how to drive in the fall, and I got that snow a lot during that time. And I don't know when my mom learned to drive.
I'll hang up. Let me lower the volume back down. Will hangs up the phone. Shannon to Ezra. Don't you go diving in too. It's actually really cold. Kind of dangerous. Did he say where he was going? He's looking for the good stuff. I see. Still thirsty. Kate keeps some diet soda in the broom closet, but you didn't hear it from me. It's next to the bleach. Bring a flashlight. Oh, no, I don't think that's what he's looking for. So, any important messages? Every single one. To Ezra. Where are you headed tonight, small man? I'm looking for my family. Looking for a new family? Or a family you lost track of? My folks disappeared. We met Ezra earlier tonight, and he's been very helpful. I'm hoping we can return the favor once we get back above ground. Poor kid was sleeping at the bus station and just lost track of his folks. He'll be alright. He's more at home down here than any of us. Trust me, I have an eye for it. Summer. Kate, thanks for calling. I hope I didn't wake you up. No, I can't really get comfortable enough to sleep anymore, except in the car. Oh, not driving, in the passenger seat, reclined. Eric drove me around the reservoir this afternoon, and I got an hour or two in. I couldn't get settled in bed, so I was just watching TV, some cooking show about high-concept junk food, and everyone from my high school chemistry class was there, making cupcakes out of old bicycle parts. Think I might have dozed off a bit, actually. Honestly, this baby can come out whenever he wants. I'm completely over it. Don't rush it, just try to get some rest. That's what Eric says. I guess it'll happen when it happens. I mean, obviously, the phone line makes a horrible sound. Whoa, God, the phones down here are such a mess. Hey, Kate, I really appreciate you checking in. I have your pager number, and so does Eric, just in case I'm too, distracted or whatever. I'll let you go. I should try to eat something. Munch on a bitter hedgehog cap. That should relieve some of your intestinal discomfort. Okay, thanks. Maybe I'll just chew on some ice. Talk to you soon, Kate. Hopefully. Just checking in on a client. Did I mention I'm a birth doula? That's like a nurse, right? Well, no, I don't have any formal medical training or licensing, just a lot of experience. I think most women who hire me mainly want someone in the delivery room who, doesn't treat childbirth like some kind of disease to be cured. I mean, no hard feelings against doctors. But they have their own process, and it can be pretty alienating sometimes. Is everything okay? Everything's great. Sounds like she's ready. Some women just know. It's amazing. Others are caught totally by surprise. Your friend went back aboard? He's been drinking a bit. Oh, I should have pointed him toward the head. Nadia, I'm glad you phoned. I was just thinking of you. Clara, you're sitting by the phone waiting for my call? That's so nice. I was eating an early lunch actually, and my mind was wandering. Visited the hospital yesterday. I went to visit Uncle Andreas, but they moved him. Now he's in a hospice care facility run by some old Polish nun. Everyone says it's very nice. I asked him about visiting, and they said he didn't want any visitors. It's just being stubborn, or that's his right. I guess it is, technically. Clara, I don't think it's really what he wants. If you came to visit, he would see you. All those afternoons you two would go drinking beers by the river. Don't you think it would mean a lot to him if he could say goodbye to you in person? Oh, Nadia, I'd never make it back in time anyway. It's true, you're a long way from home, Clara. Suppose it can't be helped. Oh, here's Mother at the door. We're going to try again to see him. I hope the tour's going well. Love you, be careful. My sister, back home, she's very depressing to me this morning. My uncle Andreas is terminally ill and refusing visitors. Nadia is making a stir about it. I'm sorry to hear. Are you close? Yes, but only recently. He lived abroad for most of my life. I only met him a few years ago. My sister is older, so she knew him as a child, too. So I think her respect for him is distorted by sentiment. We must always take the dying at their word. Their motivations are beyond our understanding. The older man, he's swimming back to the mammoth? No emergency, I hope. Oh, I hope there's paper. It's been a busy night. He's writing a letter? I hadn't heard that euphemism. Must be Lithuanian. Brandon approaches. I don't suppose any of you folks are heading past the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces? Not on this run, but we'll be coming back this way in a few hours. Well, I may still be here then. It's no big deal. I'll just hang out and raid or something until it's time to head back to work. Hey, you folks are traveling with that old guy, right? With the leg? Is he okay? I saw him earlier tonight. He came by the storage facility for some files. Oh, that guy! He totally bit it on the staircase. He's okay though, right? He just seems preoccupied to me. Yeah, I got that feeling too. Back at the storage facility, he was asking a lot of weird questions, and he seemed distracted, like, spiritually. Well, have a good night, or, morning, almost. Who's calling? Ah, hard time. Oh, hey, Carrington. Oh, was that you? I guess so. You don't sound convinced. Well, it doesn't matter either way. I just dialed 0 and asked the operator to connect me to any open line on the river. I'm gonna give an outside perspective, you see. Well, maybe you can help me out. I reckon you can. Here's the score. The performance is at dawn. We're coming right up to it. None of the cast is here yet. That's okay. Hell, I'll enlist the audience if I have to. The stage crew, likewise, are delayed by bad weather. They may not make it in time. And they've got the props and the costumes with them. Well, I've done more with less. Good theater is always dangerous. My experimental stage production of The Death of the Hired Man could survive these tribulations. But there is one element still missing that is far more crucial. We can have theater without props, without stage setting, even without actors. But there is no theater without light. Of course, my production, experimental though it may be, aspires to emulate its source material. Frost's poem is framed by 3 sources of light and their effects on its subject, Mary. First, Mary stares a lamp flame on a table in front of her while waiting for her husband Warren to come home. Second, she distracts herself from a painful conversation by examining the moonlight on her apron. Third, she watches a little silver cloud pass over the moon, dimming it, as Warren finds Silas dead in the next room. And yet, despite this rich tableau of moonlight, we perform underground, in an old coal mine. What I mean is, where in this dusty man-made cave, sheltered and set from the light of dawn, is the moon? Where do you see it in your mind's eye? What's the first solution that appears? Have an actor play the moon, dressed in white. Interesting solution. I take it you're volunteering? I admire your enthusiasm. You really dive in. You have a natural sensitivity for this kind of work. No, and availability. It's your strongest quality. That's my strongest quality? I'm available? It's a quality I feel is habitually sold short. Keeping myself available, open to the vagaries of chance and experience, requires constant maintenance. It's a quality we have to nurture in ourselves. Our natural instinct is to close ourselves off from risk and opportunity. A theologian I once happened to meet said, "Why make art? Quiet the mind, making it susceptible to divine influences." That's a kind of availability few of us ever attain. Well, I hope you make it to the premiere, though it's coming up very quickly and I know you're still traveling. If so, I'll see you here at dawn. Safe travels, and thank you, as always, for your insight. I mean, I guess availability is a virtue in some fashion. In a world where everything is hyper planned out, the ability to just say yes to something weird and open yourself up to something out of the ordinary is a virtue, I guess. That right there is Ratliff Monuments. If you ever need a headstone carved, for a loved one, I mean. Violet Ratliff, never married, nevertheless bore 6 children. Earl, Kelly, Barb, Ron, young Earl, and Beauty. And for each birth, she locked the doors of Ratliff Monuments for only one day, even with young Earl, when she was in labor for 36 hours. Well, that's what folks said, and I met her, and I believe them. She had the unyielding disposition of a cliffside. None of Violet's children had any desire to go into monument making. Beauty thought it was all a bit ghoulish. There's some truth to that. Very little demand to monuments for the living, after all. The run of the shop fell last to young Earl, the only Ratliff still at home when his mother finally passed 82, and who then had the honor of engraving her headstone. He's done well, for the most part. His craftsmanship has suffered over time. It's his hands, cut and bruised by misstrokes, shake it apart from the inside too. He learned from Violet, when striking a block of stone with a mallet and chisel, to absorb the extra shock right into his bones so as to keep the apparatus straight and carve a perfect line. He spends his time outside work just caring for his hands, soaking his bones in salt water, doing little exercises and stretches. It won't improve the straightness of his marks, but it might put off the day he finds himself unable to carve a line at all, scribbling on rocks like his ancestors. That's the day he has nightmares about. He dreads it like death, though he makes no distinction between the two. I'll stay on the boat this time. Ezra taught us a card game. Act 4, Scene 5. The Mucky Mammoth. Clara draws a card. Hold on 1 second. Three deep breaths, 8 white doves, 5 slow hours. Kate draws a card. 7 blue petals, 3 deep breaths, 8 white doves, 5 slow hours. Clara to Kate, what are we listening to? Oh, just this tape a friend of mine sent me. They live in the desert. Vicence? Something like that. Sounds good on the Mammoth's PA. Yeah, that's the only way I listen to anything lately. To Ezra, your turn, buddy. Ezra draws a card. 9 gray okay. 9 gray feathers, 7 blue petals, 3 deep breaths, 8 white doves, 5 slow hours. Will draws a card. 9 gray feathers. Stay focused. No, I've got it. 7 blue petals. And 5. Oh no, it was 973. Ezra, this game is more difficult than it sounds, my friend. Still did pretty good. And we're only, how many cards in now? 5 or something? I assume it will go to 52. It goes until everyone forgets a card. That could go on a long time then. Well, not with this crowd, I guess. We're all too soggy-brained. I know I am. I even take homemade supplements for it. Shade-grown lichen boiled with the peel of a lemon, then frozen and crushed with oak leaves. It's scalp massage oil. You could smell it if I get close. It dries the brain out a bit, which is helpful for a good memory, if I can remember to use it often enough in the first place. Oh, don't worry. Soggy brain has its benefits too. If your brain is soft and damp, new ideas can make a clear impression, like a boot in wet sand. But, like wet sand, it can easily get muddied and washed away, so there's a trade-off, you see? It's a shame we can't have it both ways, isn't it? What's this game called, Ezra? Forgetting game. Kate likes to give her passengers the opportunity to make some floating around money, and that lab pays cash in small envelopes upon completion of their little gauntlet of non-invasive tests. It's a project of the university. I think they're studying... I don't know. The Mammoth also collects their trash, mostly shredded paper, but Kate says once they left half a vending machine on the dock. But nobody seemed too interested in the lab stop that night. They stayed aboard and played a card game. I read a book. Let me tell you about it. The setting is it's set in a small town of the Pacific Northwest. The town is never named, but it's colorfully described. Woolly fog, broken coastline, provincial shopkeepers. The main characters are mail carriers. They're co-workers, Mimi and Jen. Mimi is older than Jen, but they seem to be at the same point in their lives. They like their work. They have a playfully antagonistic relationship with their boss. I actually only read a bit from the middle. The two had cause to reflect on the history of their work together. Something got messed up, a document misplaced or filed under the wrong heading. I wasn't really paying close attention to that part, but the event prompted a long conversation about the procedural history of their work together, and that illustrated a history of their friendship in broad, suggestive strokes. In my life's work as the Echo River's premier anecdotalist, I've always found that a carefully excerpted moment is more powerful than any epic history. That's my excuse, anyway, for reading books from the inside out. So I stopped there. My eyelids were getting heavy. We were headed back to the lake in a chance encounter with the Iron Pariah. Looks like we're at the lake. I think it's starting to widen out. Oh, what is that? Ezra helped Kate forage for mushrooms. Act 4, Scene 6. A grove. She lit a second cigarette with the embers of the first one. She trembled, sweating a little under heavy coat. It was warmer near the doors. She was following directions. No smoking within 25 feet of hospital entrance. Kate gently rolls a fallen branch and plucks something white from the underside. She holds it up for Ezra to examine. So she stood by a hot dog cart parked at the edge of the sidewalk. Kate, Chlorocybella porrigens. The common name is angel wings. Isn't that pleasant? They have a delicate, springy texture, and they're tasty, like sweet moss. Would you like a bite? Sweet moss doesn't sound very tasty to me. Personally, I like to be able to tell where my food came from by flavor alone. I like to taste my surroundings, I mean. It keeps me connected to the whole thing. My mushroom hunting mentor told me it's useless to pretend to know mushrooms. They escape your erudition. The more you know them, the less you feel about it. Less sure you feel about identifying them. She taps the cover of the small red book she's carrying. That's why I always bring my favorite guidebook. Kate points to a small mushroom. I'm not sure, dong nozzle. Kate points to a small mushroom growing in the dirt. Hold on, I need a drink. My throat's getting dry. Oh, here's an important one to recognize, though. Look, see the sort of greenish pallor of the cap? Amanita phalloides. Phalloides? That's Greek. Amanita means mushroom, and phalloides means, never mind. Can you eat it? Only once. It's deadly poisonous. So, phallic mushroom. Death cap. That's the common name. It's killed a lot of people, this little mushroom, including a few Roman emperors. It's a revolutionary. Even the Buddha died from eating a mushroom when he was very old. That's just what they do. Clear away old things, make room for new things. Pretty important, right? I've always thought they deserved a little more respect. Would you like to help me look for a few more? I have a sort of shopping list. Great. Actually, just grab any mushrooms that catch your eye and throw them in this bag. Let me know when you're done and we'll see what you've got. Have fun. That's the second rule of mushroom hunting. The first rule is ask Kate before eating anything, okay? Kate kneels in the grass. Parts the grass with her garden knife, studiously combing the ground. The hot dog vendor tried to strike up a conversation with some immediately too personal questions. She decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he considered it part of his job. She thought to offer his customers some kind of counsel. Maybe it was to salve his guilty conscience for selling junk food outside a hospital. There are no mushrooms in the grass. Kate digs in a bare patch of dirt. It's a bit muddy from flooding or the general dampness of the caves. She finds two promising specimens, a spotted brown cap and a dense bundle of dark ridges. Had she ever tried any alternative medicines? Acupuncture? Homeopathy? Ayurveda? Magical thinking? She said she never heard of any of those things. He fished a stray hot dog out of the pickle jar. Kate inspects the dense bundle of dark ridges. Dark brown ridges and folds cover the surface of the mushroom. It has a pleasant, almost fruity smell. Kate plucks the mushroom from the dirt and puts it in her bag. Kate tries to wipe some mud off her boot. Didn't find anything? That's okay. I just found this one. Kate takes the dense bundle of dark ridges out of her bag. This one I can't really use, but I picked it just to look. Ugh. But I picked it just to show it to you. It looks a lot like a very popular eating mushroom around these parts called a morel, but it's not a morel. Kate slices the mushroom in half lengthwise. It's full of white fibers, the consistency of cotton. This is the easiest way to tell them apart. The real morel is empty. This one, a false morel, is actually kind of poisonous. I forget what its effects are exactly. Here, let's check the Vermeulen book. Kate flips through the pages of her guidebook. Okay, here it is. Reading. Symptoms include wanting to fight, demanding answers, dryness of eyes, nose, and lips, restless sleep, dreams of flood, of rolling stones, accident, people transforming into owls, vampires, rockets, and traveling to stars. Huh, that doesn't sound so bad, actually. Kate puts the mushroom back into her bag. So... Oh, yeah, morel mushrooms are creepy looking. You have a brother out there somewhere? Julian, he's going to come find me in the morning after the work is done. Yep, we work pretty hard. Used to spend part of each night looking for my folks. But now we pretty much just work. But maybe that'll change now. I have some new friends. You have a family? Oh no, I almost had a baby once. I got very sick, and the only thing that helped me was a funny-looking mushroom called collared earth star. I've basically been on my own since then. Well, that's not really true. Just about everyone who sets foot aboard the mucky mammoth feels like some family to me now. I guess if nobody's family, then everybody's family. Ezra pokes around the base of a cypress tree. Brownish clump of mushrooms feathers out from the base of the cypress tree. A few feet above, several pale blue puffs cling to the trunk. He didn't like to play in the house. It was always too cold. It seemed to store up the cold at night, then slowly discharge it into his bones during the day, while the sun bounced feebly off the windows. But he liked to play in the woods behind the house. The woods were full of deer. His dad said the deer liked best to live on the edges of the forest. Recent development in the area had created a lot of fresh edges, so they massed here and sometimes ran into the road. Ezra examines the blue puffs. Prods one of the pale orbs with a stick, and it cracks open a little, releasing a fine dust into the air. He felt like the world outside the woods had somehow slipped away while he was gone. Now there was nothing but the woods. He kept going. Ezra carefully removes the puff ball and puts it in his bag. Ezra closes his eyes and listens to the water and the distant clicking of bats. He tripped on a protruding root and lay in the mud for a while in the mud, examining the pale upper branches of a sycamore tree, listening to the soft rumble of a faraway thunderstorm, then louder, closer, and his hair stood on end, and there was the bird. These are the only trees in this whole cave. Planted them here. Right, not many trees down here in the dark. Months later, she came across a book on homeopathic medicine in a used bookstore and bought it. She thought it was mostly bullshit, but found the author's notes on the unpredictability of mushrooms immediately compelling. Spiritual, even. She started collecting mushrooms on hikes, never eating them, just collecting, identifying, and discarding. Eventually, she connected with the Lexington Mycological Society and began to study in earnest the medicinal uses of fungi. Okay, right, not many trees down here in the dark. I know these are some kind of cypress, and they were definitely planted here deliberately by someone who... I guess I don't know much about this place, really. It's supposed to be some kind of memorial to something? Will would know more. Sorry, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. I'll search for clues. She put out her cigarette, said goodbye to the hot dog vendor, spent the rest of the afternoon listening to doctors and trying to understand the world as they did, as the list of discrete injuries to be mended. Ezra investigates a cypress tree. The tree smells spicy, oily. Ezra looks up into the branches. Some of the branches have been trimmed recently. Ezra looks around and examines a large stone monument. The monument is covered with lichen and painted text. Ezra reads the text. Rock graffiti. X+O forever. Ezra inspects the contents of his pockets. Alright, what have you got? That stone-faced monument has X+O forever painted on it. Interesting. What do you think that means? Hug and kiss forever? Or they could be initials. Xavier and Olivia forever. Xerxes and Oliver? What do you think that monument is for? Not sure anyone remembers. Branches on the tree are trimmed. Oh, good observation. So I guess somebody's still taking care of this place. Or just practicing their tree trimming somewhere out of the way. Well, Ezra, I can't say I know what that all adds up to. Like I said, I wish Will were here. He'd have some local history for us. We can ask him. Back on the boat. Oh, it's a boat full of cats! Kate and Ezra look up at an old battleship drifting by. Oh, there it is, the Iron Pariah. Don't worry, it's just passing by. I don't know much about it firsthand, but I've heard things. Ezra's parents shook him awake. They seemed alarmed, but not immediately concerned. They led him into him back to the house, past the house, into the car. Dad said they were going to stay at the bus station for a while, the one with the little arcade, the car game he liked. Dad watched him closely in the rearview mirror, expecting Ezra to be excited or confused or scared, but he didn't feel anything. He hardly seemed to hear. In fact, it felt like he was observing the family car from a distance, far above, in the clouds. Yeah, cat, boat, cat, boat. Supposedly there's nobody even aboard. No people, I mean. There must be something on there. Life is everywhere. Rats, insects, some kind of hardy mold. Part of it could be flooded and host to some of the eyeless fish that live in the Echo. Hey, maybe there's some mushrooms growing in there, slowly consuming military rations from over 100 years ago. I've heard it was in the Civil War. I guess they had boats full of soldiers and supplies going up and down the Ohio River. And they fought on the river, like boat to boat with cannons or something, I guess. Machine guns? I'm no military historian, as you can probably tell. Anyway, I guess this one just got lost and somehow ended up all the way down here. Maybe it slipped into a cave up north. They're all connected underground. There's another version of the story where it didn't get lost. It was full of deserters. They came down here to hide. Maybe that's why it's a pariah. More mysteries. They do pile up over time as people forget the details. Thanks for taking me mushroom picking. Mushroom hunting. You can pick apples. Because they're right out there in the open. Mushrooms hide. You have to hunt for them. It's time to go. Cat boat, cat boat, cat boat, cat boat. Oh, hey, there's a garbage patch down there. See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it is actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made, and the rocks weren't placed according to their size, so what's visible is a more or less uniformly random selection of the overall shape. Looks like it might be a spiral, all told, or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump. That was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Loch Lucks were married here. Many frail-tongued observers said they should just go with Loch or Luck, or split the difference with Look or even Lick, or really anything else, but it was never going to happen. I like this. Billy Locke and W.H. Locke met in line at the DMV. Their driver's license photographs were mixed up by the clerk, a mistake they discovered immediately but never corrected. Their engagement was welcome news for the family businesses, who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. These were the Locks of Lock Large Animal Storage and the Lucks of the Luck Family Nut Company. Surely someone in some branch of those two great trees had elephant husbandry on the brain. This is all speculation. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, and it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral like a symbol of their ever-tightening bond. And it must have also involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiant wore a robe. Shannon and her friend set out in the dinghy to deliver a package at the telephone exchange. Act 4, Scene 7. Echo River Central Exchange. Thanks again for your help. This is about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. I usually send Will, but he's up to his elbows in mammoth grease right now. So you'll pass through the bat sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for, cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name when the power company took over. Anyway, just on the other side of the bat sanctuary, this package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Salmonitis for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the bat sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really sort of... I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay, bye. Sign. We claim these helmets in the names of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of that power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water, too. Swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we never will find, so we guess the water buried them for us. So let this here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a bitch from that power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just you try it and see what will happen. Hey, Elkhorn, that's the mine we met in, where your folks, work. Looks like it's been here a while. I sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. You think whoever wrote it is still that angry? I don't think you ever forget anger like that. No, I guess you probably don't. This probably stirs up... how do you... It's fine. I'm glad this is here. People should remember this happened. Well, here we are, remembering. And I didn't even know it the first time around. Here I am remembering it now. That's a fine memorial, I guess. Um, Hello? With the guys from Hard Times. What? You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Are you feeling okay? Oh, sure. It doesn't hurt anymore, my leg. It's just kind of numb. Like it's not there. My shoulder, too, actually. That's an old one, though, from an accident. I'm lucky I just had some nerve damage there. Probably should have been a lot worse. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation, just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of these medical bills for my leg, you know? Get it all together on a plan. Consolidated. What? When did you talk to them about that? Oh, they're around. They're pretty much everywhere you look on this river. You really haven't noticed? Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out. Even this delivery? Yeah, we're almost there, right? At this point, I bet we could just take off the parking brake and that truck would roll into 5 Dogwood Drive by itself. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss, Ira, Lysette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much. Somehow Liz got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make it up for all the yelling he did. Or maybe so his ghost could hold it over me. Just one more thing to feel like I owed him for. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it. I barely know you. Hell, I barely know anyone. It's not like I'm going to give this truck to my damn brother or something. I don't even know how to get a hold of him these days. Well, just think about it. Anyway, you'd be doing me a favor, you know? One less thing to deal with. Visitors to the Echo River Slow Stripe Bat Artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of oral fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspected to host bats affected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. Slow striped bat is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract confused bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic. Relax. Stop your vehicle and switch off your light. Never touch a bat. So at this point, we're at almost 2 hours, and I'm definitely going over. I don't know, maybe 3 hours for the whole thing. This and the interlude. Bat fact. Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of those ultrasonic clicks. Like varying very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into anything. Bats keep clicking away even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. It may be poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. Wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. I think when they're actually communicating, it sounds more like singing. I'd like to hear that. Oh, hey, skeleton boys. Posting by ominously in the background. Bat fact. The slow-striped bat's natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel all potentially contaminant-bearing insects, and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, which we call the little gray nothing moth. You may be thinking that the other moths and insects the slow-striped bat would have been eating are very much relieved that their natural predator has found another food source. Not so. We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the slow-striped bat normally hunts to balance their escape from the food chain. But eating moths isn't the only systemic contribution these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River on the shore of Lake Left. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect that precious guano here at the hibernaculum and manually distribute it throughout the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work. It's all fake, except for the bats. Yeah, I guess so. Reminds me of that guy Donald and his crew down there with the computer. It kind of bothers me. Like, they're tricking the bats? Yeah. In this case, I think it's about survival. I mean, if that's the bottom line, what's the difference? Like, the folks in the mine, you said they used to buy stuff. Fans, canaries, all those little trinkets to make it bearable. There's still a lot of stuff down there. It feels cluttered, but human. I just mean, all people need is enough to pretend we're home. We can make it anywhere. You get kind of philosophical when you're drinking. Did anyone ever tell you that? Yeah, I guess I do. Nah, this is nothing. I used to have this drinking buddy who would get loaded and tell me the weirdest damn riddles, like, which is more musical, a truck passing by a factory or a truck passing by a music school? Count your blessings. Damn, it's really dark down here. You still there? Sorry, just thinking. Yeah, it's a reflective kind of place, if you're that kind of person, which I think you are. What are you thinking about? Nothing. That's a good skill to have. You should teach lessons. I was just thinking about my dad. I guess because we were talking about your folks a minute ago. To be honest with you, I don't think about him that often. Cousin brought him up earlier and he's just been on my mind. It's good your folks have a memorial. A lot of people, nobody remembers them when they're gone. You mean, like your dad? Oh, no, he would have hated that. I don't know what I mean. What kind of tree is that? It's all stripy. Are those? They look like they're following us. Radio. Lysette's sick. I mean, she's old. We're both old. Hell, you're about the youngest person I know right now. Oh, and the kid. Maybe blue by a people calendar. In dog years, though, I bet she has us all beat. So I'm old too. Sure. And I forget stuff all the time, especially if I had a few and my brain is swimming, but I mean, Liz, it's all going away. She's losing words you never think you'd lose. Not just like the street she grew up on, but the names of colors, types of furniture. I mean, even the word furniture. She'd say, we still got a few nice pieces in the, what's that I call the shed where the bigger pieces, the beds and couches, and I'd say, oh, Liz, why do you keep teasing me about that time I fell asleep in the furniture shed when it's so damn comfortable in there? I tried to help her keep some dignity, you know? That's all I had to offer at the end. She has a sister in Nashville who'll take good care of her. Now that I'm not around the shop all the time. What was that old guy's name? He used to make deliveries for the shop. He smells like leather. I was always yelling at him. Too drunk to work on the one day. He could have been in the right place at the right time. You feel pretty badly about that accident. Do you think she blames you? No, but it's awful to say, but sometimes I kind of wish she would. That way at least she could eventually forgive me. You know what I mean, right? I know exactly what you mean. Okay, I think the bats are clearing out. Skeleton guys. Sign. White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growth which appears on bats' faces and wings irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy they need to survive through winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and it is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder, suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. While honeybees and the slow striped bat be two more lost species, wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten to natural history, it's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Echo River Slow Striped Bat Hibernaculum and Sanctuary, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. Yeah, they're fucking following us. Oh, they're not even pretending now. Ooh, brick tunnel. Looks like maybe a subway tunnel. Oh, there's people here. Laura. Oh, hi. I remember you. Oh, Flora, wasn't she from the... I think she was from that museum. What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. Really? What does that mean to you? It means I like poems and rivers and mysteries. Okay, bye. Dashel. Softly. Be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. What are you working on? Oh, you startled me. Dashel Morse. Pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore. There are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer could attach right before the wall jack. Sounds like a good gig fixing old phones. Oh, well, yeah, I'm here just about every night. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I could tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. I knew it! Subway station. It's true, they had bats then too, but they were considered a nuisance. Train station? What happened to it? Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I missed that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. The closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks. WEVP, that's community television. I volunteered there for a number of years. I know everybody over there. Ralph, Sherry, Weaver, Dave. Weaver Marquez? Sure, Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple of times at the TV station. Suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear though. She had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. I guess she's probably not too popular around the station anymore. But I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. Plaque. Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft, but old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, trash, even pull them out of pockets, and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and travelers passing through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires passed along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set aside for their habitation. That's where we left them. Okay, there you are, Conway. Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from? Reading label. Consolidated Power Company. Oh dear, I'm afraid to open it. So, who are you? Do you work for the post office? Or the tugboat? I only ask because I haven't seen you here before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? Yeah, I just met Dashiell. He's been working on that obsolete ringer, hasn't he? Poor Dashiell. You know, he's not really... He was let go a while back. A long while, actually. When they started restructuring, he was one of the first to go. But he talked them into letting him come every day and fiddle with some interminable project. He says it's to keep a long gap from growing in his resume. But I think he just has nothing better to do. One of those old men who needs to work. You know? Doesn't know how to be any other way. Well, there are no real jobs here. But there are fake jobs, I guess. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Hey, Loretta. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Kara, Marie, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Connie, wasn't she the, receptionist at the bureau? Marie finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rue collar. But he had it coming, and I hear she did just fine on her own. So they hired Beryl, Janet, and Sachko, which brought us up to 13, and that was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. The power company came along, buying up all the lines. One day they took the exchange to throw-in. Like it was nothing. Nothing! And they started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, and Lois left one Friday evening, and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at a private PBX. They had Jaina and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. And it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell and hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. Sounded pretty good to me. Yeah, I'm impressed. So, where was I? Hot honey broth and warm salt water. Right, and a healthy dose of slippery elm. I got that one from Kate. So after a few months, it was just me. New automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch Number 30. If it's automated, what do you do here? It's not fully automated. There's still gaps of functionality that need a human touch. And it really is all about touch here. Sound is a vibration, a touch you feel in your ear. So my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch. An intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays. Then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you. You have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes me to do each little thing. The caller never hears my voice now. They dial, a little indicator lights switch on, and I make the connection. Do you miss talking to callers? You know, there's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate that timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate. A couple days? That's what I said. This has been going on for over a year, and a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? Why don't you just quit? In this economy? No, you're probably right. Working in science for peanut shells waiting to be replaced by a robot doesn't sound very dignified, does it? Reality is that I've been working here for my whole adult life. I came here as a girl, and I'll leave as a middle-aged woman. I don't know if I'm ready to be her yet. Sound like Dashel. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. Go. Conway. Goodbye, Conway. Yeah, and I sent Blue with him. I think it'd be best that Conway has something in his time at the distillery. She returned on the dinghy, alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She met a painter of shipwrecks. He never worked for photographs, so his paintings could be divided into two categories. There were the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source for these, because its currents were so unpredictable and the tunnels so dark. He rendered these in oil paint, by lamplight, working for hours cross-light on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there were the ones he painted from memory, mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches of northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning, in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. He had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal, too, of the Iron Pariah. It wasn't a wreck exactly, but it felt right. He tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it, though it was so unpredictable and he was so focused on details. He usually just ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks. She met a family of 5 on a flat-bottomed skiff. The boat was loaded to capacity with black plastic bags, and a few larger pieces of furniture wrapped in a blue tarp. 3 paddled, 2 adults and the older child. 2 younger children slept. They'd been traveling all night, first by car and then for the last few hours by boat. Hungry and tired, they didn't plan to stop until they reached West Virginia, where a relative had offered to take them in. But the adults were happy to take a break from paddling in weary silence. They asked her about her river journey. She said she was on the way to Sam and Ida's. They'd brought some food. Kids had picked the garden clean earlier in the day, so they'd been snacking on fresh bell peppers and tomatoes, and some crackers, carefully rationed carefully for the trip. They wished her well and paddled on toward West Virginia. She met a guitar player pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. He said they took turns. The water was cold and the floating bicycle, while technically marvelous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for the both of them. Swimming is hard work. The hardest work that dog had ever done, he expected. They'd been traveling this way for most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when they could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into a weathered guitar case at the end of a thin rope. It floated pretty well, so he only had to keep an eye on it and occasionally free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She asked if he had a guitar in his case or just clothes. He would have played or something. The case leaked a bit, and he didn't think it would sound right until it had time to dry out. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then she knew what she'd been craving. A moment of silence. Goodbye, Conway. Goodbye, Blue. I believe so. Yes, I believe that the dog sometimes rides the bicycle. Here we are. Act 4, Scene 8. Sam and Ida's. Let's see what comes up. Sam. Hello out there. Headed up or down? I'm just looking for the crew of the Mucky Mammoth. Yes, ma'am. They stop here every morning. I expect they're upstairs now, and I just got the coffee going. I could use a cup myself. It's cold down there. Well, head on upstairs and she'll take care of you. I'll be along in a minute. Just in time. We've already finished eating, but we're about to place a to-go order for Clara. She's back on board, getting ready for her show. Take a look at the menu. I'm sure there's something you'll like. Ida is a bit of a local celebrity. For her cooking, I mean. Hey, Ezra was just asking about you. He's around the corner playing a video game. Maybe go let him know you two are back, or... Where's the old man anyway? That's not a video game. Ah, bad luck. You'll get it next time. Shannon. Hey, got a quarter? He's almost got this. It's true. Sure, I have 1 quarter. Thank you. So, where's... He took him. Damn. Yeah, he really got himself in a situation there. Yeah. I'm gonna go sit down. Cool. The food is good here. I think everyone else is finishing up, but you could probably get something to go. Ezra. Alright, Claw Maestro, let's give it another shot. So let's see what's on the top of the pile here. There's a stuffed octopus, a plastic bag full of clam shells, a cowboy hat, and some big headphones. That octopus has a leg wrapped around the boombox underneath it. The shells are pretty clear, but I don't know if the claw could really grip the bag well. Cowboy hat is in the corner, so it's kind of tricky to tell if it's wedged in or not. Those headphones might be a good bet, but I can't see the cord. Could be wrapped around something. What are you going to try for? I'll try to get the headphones. Good call. I think that's our best bet. Okay, when I put this quarter in, you'll have about 8 seconds to grab your prize. The headphones are on the right, pretty close to the middle. Let me know if you need help lining it up. I've got a slightly different view of the field from up here. Ready? Here we go. Johnny inserts the coin and the machine awakens. Timer. 8. Ball hovers in the front left corner of the machine. Pushes the joystick right. Ball hovers halfway across the front of the machine. Push it up. 6. Ball hovers in the center of the machine. Does this look right? You're too far to the left. 5. Okay, so to the right. 4. Ball hovers halfway along the right wall of the machine. Does this look right? Yeah, it looks good to me. You can go for it. 3. Ball drops. It grabs the headphones. Ball's grasp seems unusually weak on this round, and the headphones tumble back out before they can be retrieved. You were robbed. I guess the house always wins, except on Tuesdays. A friend of ours always said that. Never really knew what he meant. Oh well. Hey, listen, it sounds like that old man you were following around, I guess he had to leave. Is he coming back? Well, probably not. He's got himself on a trajectory, you know? Anyway, I don't know what kind of plans you have now, but if you need help figuring out your next move, you can always talk to me and Miss Junebug. I just wanted to make sure you know that. I don't know what I'm going to do. Me neither. You're in good company. Hey, maybe we still have time to poke around this place a little. You have some pretty wild stuff in here. Hey, did you see this? They keep a table full of fake food over here. Never known why. Actually, I think it might be real food coated with shellac or something. Preserved it. Oh, and look, this tentacle thing, looky thing is half eaten. This is someone's meal that they didn't finish? Tentacle? Gross. Man, I don't know. Some people really like that stuff. I had some fried calamari once at a gas station. It was pretty good, but I stripped a gear trying to chew the beak. You're supposed to take that out. Sam and I to preserve this half-eaten meal must have been pretty important to them, right? Maybe it belonged to someone they care about, like a beloved uncle had a mid-meal stroke, so they kept it in his memory. My folks left behind a bag of sunflower seeds, but I threw it away. I should have kept it, right? Oh, no, I didn't mean that, kid. You don't need to hang on to every little memento. I'm sure you still remember them just fine. Are you worried about them? Yeah, it's weird that they just disappeared. Yeah, listen, it's okay to be worried. You're doing fine. Weird. Somehow I thought it was his truck, and delivery and all. It was, that's what she was saying, but he gave it to her before they took him away. Hey, Shannon, but you're going to deliver it anyway? Why? He's my friend. He needs my help to finish his job. That's right. He's our friend too. Johnny and I will help you unload when we get there. Johnny, lift with your legs, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. So, this is Ida. So, how was everything? Junebug. How was the sweet cave snail? Devastating. You're a killer, Ida. Well, I can't take all the credit. Sam came across a whole cave snail colony down there about a year back. We've been leaving rock candy for them to gorge on since. So, we just started harvesting earlier this month. Yeah, it's all about patience down here. Everything grows more slowly in the dark. There's a fish in Lake Letha that lives to 200 years, and its flavor profile only develops at about 75. I've got a pot of bones in there that's been stewing for at least a week. I don't even remember why I put them on. Come to think of it, I don't even remember what kind of bones they are. Oh, we need one for the road. Clara said she wanted, something primordial, she said. What does that mean? Kate reviews the menu. Maybe she meant something old-fashioned? Could be. And Shannon the menu. Here you pick. I'm no good at this. Shannon inspects the menu. It's probably like balsamic carrot, old cave fish with small salad and scallop, lime prawn cakes with cranberry butter sauce. I'll go with the old cave fish. Good choice. Your friend will love it. I'll have that right out, sweetie. Ezra leans over the table and carefully examines the preserved food and drink. He gently compresses a pea-sized eyeball on a plate. The eye is hard, like glass. Oh, you like candied fish eye? Most kids are repulsed just looking at them, which is a shame because they're really delicious. I have a bowl of them in the kitchen. I'll bring some out. Sorry I startled you, sweetie. Who- Is is the music Ave Maria? It sounded like it. It's opera. Whose food is this? This is the diver's table. This was the diver's meal. This food is about 15 years old. It's true. Things were different then. Nobody came to eat here. We were fighting just to keep the lights on. Sam, my husband, Sam, was depressed. He couldn't catch anything. That was part of the problem. Most of what we served was shipped in, frozen or dried, and I just threw it in the fryer. We've both come a long way since then. Well, two young men came in for dinner. Seasoned divers, they said. Over 10,000 hours between them in Lake Leth alone. They've been out all day salvaging parts from a riverboat. Salvaging parts from a riverboat wreck, and it worked up a fierce hunger, they said. They ordered the whole menu without even looking. It was a short menu in those days. I sat them right there and went back to the kitchen. Sam was at the next table doing a Sudoku and drinking malt liquor, his usual routine at the time. An hour later, I was cleaning up when Sam came bursting into the kitchen. Ida, he said, kind of frantic. These divers are still hungry. Bring them another course. And I said, they already ordered the whole menu. Sam said, make something new. Keep making up dishes. whatever, just keep bringing out food. So I did, until the small hours of the morning. Made up so many new dishes that night I could write a book. And it was good. Inspire. But I was working so hot and fast at the burning edge of inspiration, I didn't think to write any of it down. And I was so wrecked with exhaustion the next day, I knew I couldn't remember what all I'd done in the kitchen. Sam thought we could take a photograph of the leftovers, but we couldn't get the lighting right, so we just shellacked the whole table. Now, when I need inspiration for the menu, I come and look here and think about all those ingenious dishes I threw together for those divers. Of course, they didn't pay their full bill. I heard one of them complaining to the other, let's just pay half and let them charge the other half to whatever demon in the kitchen kept making up food faster than we could ask for it. But it all worked out. Things have really turned around since then. This place is actually pretty popular now. The success and our expanded menu inspired Sam, too. He started bringing back the most magnificent ingredients from his nightly dives. I better get to work. Stay right here, sweetie, and I'll bring you a treat on my way back out. Well, buddy, I guess you're the catch of the day. One and only. So, what are you? You look like some kind of squid, I guess. Kind of a mopey little guy, huh? Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You smell like kind of dusty, dry. Where the hell have you been swimming? Skin feels like sandpaper. Huh. Well, she'll figure something out. I think I'll call you Sandpaper Squid. Welcome to Salmonitas, the one and only Sandpaper Squid. I hope you enjoy your stay. I mean, not too much. Have you ever seen a creature like me before? You were pretty far down there. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first, except there were two divers who went before me long ago. Yeah, that's a diving bell. I think that's what you call it. The air pressure, when you submerge it like that, the air will get trapped in here and keep this part of you safe. And then he has like waders for the bottom here, where you can also reach out. Except there were two divers who went before me long ago. Maybe that was before your time. How old are you anyway? Wonder. They ate here once, back in the battle days. Two young guys. Could have been brothers, maybe. I was over in the corner with my coffee and crossword. I hadn't been able to catch a thing, so I'd have just fried up something for frozen. I'd have said Sudoku and whiskey. Well, these guys were hungry enough to eat it and asked for more, and they did at least as much talking as eating. See, like I said, they were divers. Like I said, they might have been brothers. They had a kind of a rivalry going between them or something. Ida was about to write up their check, but I slipped calmly and quietly into the kitchen for a minute and told her to just keep bringing out food. I figured they wouldn't notice, caught up in their boasting as they were, and I wanted to listen. We went back and forth for hours about all the deep and dangerous dives they'd been on, new tunnels they discovered, all the weird creatures they'd encountered at the weirdest depths of Lake Left. It was like a dance, no, like a boxing match. Each story went deeper than the last, and I listened to every word of it, memorized every description of every tunnel and diving route they discovered. That's my map now, you see? For 15 years, I've been using routes those two young divers discussed right there at that table. Yeah, I could write a guidebook to the depths of this lake, but I don't dare. Someone would steal my good diving spots, and then where would we be? See, people come here from all over just to try our daily catch, because they know it's unique. Ain't you proud? Since I can't write any of it down, I just preserved that table where they had their meal so I can look at it to jog my memory. Like, they were eating pickled crab when they talked about that shipwreck full of salamanders. Pretty clever, huh? It's my own secret code. Well, I'll be straight with you, Sandpaper Squid. There is one feature of this arrangement that I find unsettling. In fact, I lose a decent amount of sleep over it. I told you those boys were competing, right? One-upping each other, I mean? They each getting wilder and more adventurous as they traded tales. While I navigate mostly in the dark down there, just going by touch and a kind of mental picture I can construct from their detailed boasts. And every time I explore a new diving spot from those recollections, I have to weigh it all against the risk that I'm headed right into a dangerous falsehood. One of those men could have felt for a moment like he was losing some ground in their little duel, so he could have slipped a fake one in there. Maybe told a fib about some dive he went on and found a colony of blind shrimp living in a discarded refrigerator. And when I get down there, my diving bell cracks open on a sharp rock where he said that fridge would be. That's the end of Sam of Salmonitis. To be honest, that possibility puts the fear of death in me every time I touch water. Hey Sam, good haul tonight? We'll see what you can make of it. Yeah, good I think. I had some trouble down by the narrow tunnel. Some kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. Picked away for half an hour before I gave up and went around the other way. But I got the catch of the day. That's the important part. That's what people travel for. What's the catch today? This here's a sandpaper squid. Mopey, sandpapery old squid. I don't know how she'll fix him. That sandpapery quality ought to do something for, what do they call it? Mouthfeel? You stay for a drink? I've got a dark rum that goes well with coffee. I think we're about to leave, but thanks. Just passing through. Hey, aren't we all? Oh, she's got your food ready. You all enjoy your meal, all right?
This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures and my hopes are placed beyond the blue. Many friends and kin have gone on before, and I can feel at home in this world anymore.
I'm just gonna listen to the song.
Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I can feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving mother up in glory land, and I don't expect to stop until I shake her hand. She's waiting now for me in heaven's open door, and I can feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I can feel at home in this world anymore.
Beautiful. She returns to the tugboat. Ah, beautiful song. See that? This looks like a swirling mess of garbage, doesn't it? Well, that's what it is. I don't know why trash seems to collect right there, of all the spots on the lake. It's always been that way. Everyone just navigates around it like it was an island or something. Look closely, you can see some wood scraps from the old canoe rental shop. Gemini, Canoe, and Firewood. The place was run by twin sisters, Cassie and Paula, I think. This was years ago. They used to rent out canoes to tourists, campers, pilgrims, folks like that. They must have had some kind of deal with the distillery. You'd always see a couple of Hard Times boys posted up on the dock, peddling small bottles to their customers. Cassie and Paula worked those old canoes to death, wrung every penny out of them. They'd only take one out of commission when it was truly, demonstrably dangerous, and you couldn't get a refund unless your boat was visibly taking on water. Side business of firewood was a stroke of minor genius. Yeah, this cluttered place makes a decent local museum. It's as good a history as I could ever tell. We arrived at a small houseboat neighborhood that sometimes hosted concerts for the pleasure of its residents, where Clara was scheduled that night to perform. Junebug and Johnny watched the show from the dockyard with the others. Act 4, Scene 9. A neighborhood. Oh, theremin. Johnny. Oh. Hmm? I remember this. Told you. Yeah, you don't have to say it. Only because it's always true. She played at the flower shop. Cyrano opened. He was having trouble with his tape machine. We just droned out on the lap steel. Got really into it, and then he went on like forever. Everyone was falling asleep. Not everyone. I remember the air was warm, perfumed. You were playing with some petals you found on the floor, and I was looking at the ceiling. I remember the ceiling was glass. During the week, that room was a greenhouse. I don't know where they put all the plants when they had bands in. Maybe outside if the weather was nice. It was nice that night. Warm. Smelled like spring. I remember the folding chairs. So uncomfortable, but I guess it was their only option. They had to pack everything up during the week so there'd be room to display the flowers. Wow, look at Ezra. He's wrapped. Yeah, he's really into it. So, you were talking about him earlier at the gas station. Sure, I haven't forgotten, Cricket. Cool. Yeah, I know. Any, what do you think? About Ezra traveling with us for a while? We were in the back. Passing messages in code. We used a code of our own design, inscrutable to observers, transmitted by subsonic whistles. You told me a joke. It was the one about the prisoners exchanging dirty moonshine recipes. I told you the one about the three bears in the outhouse, then you told me the one about the dentist with the crude prosthetic. We had to leave the room. If I sound hesitant or something, it's just when I met you, when we met, we were nothing. Just these little gray shadows, and we grew and filled in. But we did all that together. Ezra, sure he's just a kid, but he's already a person. What would that do to our system? Our chemistry? We took a wrong turn in the hallway and ended up in the basement. I remember the air was cool and damp, like a cave. I remember the lingering perfume of the greenhouse giving way to an earthy plant smell, like we were digging down into the roots. The grimy door in the corner caught my eye. I remember the door was stuck. There was a large gap underneath it. You forced the door. You forced the door. It wasn't as stuck as we thought. The door burst open and we fell through. Hey, I got the masters for the new record back from Lazar. They're okay, but What? You listened to them without me? We're at the pet shop. I didn't think I could tear you free. Oh, okay. Anyway, there are a few spots where the strings distorted a little, and the whole thing has way too much reverb. But overall, it sounds pretty good. The new drum machine fits right into the mix. Nice. The only question is how to do it live. I can't control the drum machine and sing and dance at the same time. And you've got your hands full of guitar. We left the lights off. We felt around in the dark, careful to keep one hand on a wall so we weren't totally adrift in the darkness. I remember tripping over something. I guess we'll never know what. And stumbling, and you caught me. After a few minutes, we found ourselves back in the basement. We got back to the greenhouse just as Clara was tuning up. She relaxed her shoulders, took a deep breath, raised both hands into their precise positions, and the room started shaking. Clara hit a note that made the glass rattle in sympathy a perfect 2 octaves lower. She looked like a sorceress, tearing down the building with an effortless wave and incredible focus, coaxing the empty air into some kind of moaning, rattling demon. That's the thing about the theremin. It's the only instrument you never touch. You could see a wave of concern propagating through the greenhouse. People looking up at the trembling glass ceiling, looking at each other to see if anyone else was worried, trying to catch Claire's eye and discern if she was doing it on purpose or not, if she were really trying to bury us all in glass. I'm just saying, maybe we could use the third pair of hands up there. Oh. Oh! Think you could teach that kid to play a drum machine? Ma'am, I could teach a dog to play a drum machine. Well, that'll be our backup plan. It was a tense 5 minutes. We, the audience, alternated between fearing for our lives and lamenting hers that could have given her the kind of emotional experience to play this devastating song. And slowly, gently, Clara's hands came to rest. The theremin went quiet, the glass stopped rattling, and the room relaxed, unharmed. So Johnny and Junebug are going to take in Ezra. That's nice. Alright, I think we're basically at the end of Act 4. I met a photographer once. I mean, one in particular. She even took my portrait. I can't imagine why. She said it would immortalize me. That was a metaphor, of course. She meant I never be forgotten. She was disembarking, not far from here, actually. The film fell out of her bag and was borne away by the current. I was working on deck at the time. She shot me a sad, apologetic glance, but I wasn't bothered. It's no shame to be forgotten. Act 4, Scene 11. Silo of Late Reflections. What's this place like? Dogwood Drive? Is it a small town or it? I really don't know. I've got the manifest the old man had in his truck here. Reading. Lysette's Antiques. Mail order delivery. No return address. Shipping address. 5 Dogwood Drive. Packing list. And then it's just numbers. I guess the inventory numbers of the antiques he was supposed to be delivering. Anyway, I'm glad you're coming with us. Yes, I'm always eager to see more of the country, and I enjoy the company. I'll have to find a bus or a train to get on to Nashville by evening. Well, they have buses everywhere, right? Or, hey, I could drive you to Nashville. Seems I have a truck now. Only, how are we going to get it up these stairs? That's quite a staircase. There's no way to get this truck up these stairs, is there? Not with that attitude. No, there isn't. Looks like we're making the rest of this trip on foot. Is it safe to just leave the truck here? Sure. I don't think anyone but us could get it started again. To Johnny. Alright, Cricket. Let's get this delivery packed and tied into bundles. We're hiking it upstairs. What's in there? Antiques, I guess. Antiques. Yeah, antiques are... It's like junk. People will pay for it. Oh. Shannon to Clara. Sorry, I guess you'll be taking the bus after all. It's okay. It will be an adventure. Shannon sighs and stretches. Tired? Don't worry, lady. We're almost there. End of Act 4. And now I know this is going long, but I'm going to be doing the, I'm keeping the format, and I'm going to be doing the fourth interlude. Un pueblo de nada. Un pueblo de nada. I think that means a village of nothing. Yeah, it's not as weird. It's more, contemplative. Act 4. I'm not Maya. I'm not late, am I? This must be our guest. Oh, hi. You must be, Oh, sorry. I'm Maya. Right. Traveling artist. Welcome. I'm Emily. I, work here. Great. Rita says you're the producer? Oh, did she? I guess so. I do a little bit of everything. Yeah, I know the feeling. You weren't around earlier at the lunch thing? No, I don't live in town. I just come in to work on the station. Really? That's quite a hike, isn't it? I know some shortcuts. Oh, okay. I should make sure she's comfortable. So, do you... No, I'm fine, thanks. I'll just find somewhere to perch until you folks are ready. I've got a lot to digest. Mentally, I mean. Well, and it was a big lunch. But I spent most of the afternoon examining the mounds. Oh, the burial mounds? Yeah, that's why I came down here, to see them up close and make some sketches. They're amazing, right? They make me uncomfortable, to be honest. It seems kind of weird to build a town in a graveyard. Sure. Every town has a graveyard. Usually the town comes first. Okay, I'll check if Rita's ready. You can just hang out back here somewhere. I'll let you know when it's time to come on set. Great, thanks for having me. You too. I mean, you know what I mean. Why am I so awkward with visitors here? Just used to seeing the same 12 people day in and day out, I guess. hold on. Okay, so well, let me check again. Desync 2. So I think that means it's running at half the. Yeah. At least the floor is staying dry. My left boot has a hole. Alright, Cyrano's here to help with the weather report. That should be cool. Elmo seems a lot more into it when he has some noise to vibe on. Multiplayer? What were you looking at? Oh. Multiplayer instructions. Play until you encounter something, an image, sound, a choice of words, notable absence that reminds you of someone else in the room. Pass control of the game to that person. You don't have to explain yourself. And so on. Elmo gets a lot more into it when she has some noise to vibe on. Video data bank. It used to be on the other side of the room, and the couch was in this corner. We moved it here when the ceiling is least leaky. It's further from the windows, too, so sunlight doesn't bleach the labels. So much of archiving is just playing hide and seek with weather. How's the frame rate looking, Dog Nozzle? I changed a few things on my end, so it should look a bit smoother. Slow-mo Crow, keeping an eye on the control board. Keep up the good work, Mo. Looks like the ceiling is holding up okay, just the usual leaks. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I was getting, when it was running at 60 FPS, it was hitching occasionally or something. Oh, James left a patch wired up on the image processor. Nice. Maybe there'll be time to play with it after the show. Not time to start just yet. Miss you, Cross-Eye. Hope neighbors are okay. Okay, this is weird. Let me... It's something on my end. Oh, wow, that cleared things right up. Looks like I just made it before the sky broke open. If it gets any worse, we might be stuck in town tonight. Ben and Bob. Oh, right, this is Emily. Right, they're the people... They've been around since Act 1. They were the people in the basement of the gas station. And then they were the ones at Lula's art exhibit. They were the ones on the phone in the interlude of Act 3. Ben and Bob working on a project. We found that radio in the woods a week or two ago. Cleaned the circuits with rubbing alcohol and left it in the sun. Seemed like it was working okay again. So why are they taking it apart? Yeah, I don't know what was going on, Dog Nozzle, but I was having issues with when it was running at 60 hertz and 60 FPS. I hope the sign isn't getting wet. Sherry just repainted it. Yeah, WEVP TV. When I was running at 60 hertz, there would occasionally be... Oh. I guess they're still here on 120. It may just be the game. Alright, I'm just setting it back to 60. Or... Whoa, it just looks weird on my end. Hold on. Okay, ready when you are. How does it look outside? Gross. Yeah, I'm having just weird things. I think it may just be the game, and I'm forcing it to run at like 60 hertz, and it doesn't like that on this monitor for whatever reason. So I'm just running it now at 120, and it'll just downsample to 60 FPS, and that's fine. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. Saturn is in retrograde. What does that even mean? Yep. Think it'll let up? I guess we'll see what Elmo says. My poor tomatoes. Okay. In 3, 2... Hi, it's Rita. This is your evening broadcast, 8192. Wow, it's really raining out there. Damn, I can hear it from here. We have a few leaks. Put some pots and bowls underneath them. Thanks, Ron. Lending us your extra pots and bowls. I hope you had a good day despite the weather, although it was really nice earlier, right? I had a good day today. I met a new friend. She's going to join us in about a minute or so. Maybe you saw her earlier, around lunch, or if you didn't meet her, then you'll meet her in a minute. Or if you met her already, but you still want to hang out, I'm sure there's plenty that we can talk about. Wow. So this is 8192. Is that right, Emily? What is she talking about? Rita, to the camera. That's a lot of broadcasts. I came in around the 5s, so I've only been around for half of them. Back then in the 5s, let's see, I did Night Noise, and we had Swap Show, and the Bird Show, and people were just coming in and dropping off tapes all the time, and now, well, now it's just the evening broadcast. But it's not like, I'm not saying we're in decline or anything like that. I love the evening broadcast. I think it was the first show we had on here. It was the first show not produced by the power company. It was the first community show, yeah. Those hypnotic, fuzzy old tapes about safe wiring. There were a few power company training videos that ran before, but those don't count. Yeah, so it's the spine of the station. Or maybe it's the heart? Or is it the skin? Part of the EVP body do you think this is? Why don't you come on by and tell us about it? We're going to be here for another 30 minutes or so. Or, if you don't want to brave the storm, you can always give us a call. Same number as always, 270-216-5556. That's probably an actual number you can call. Okay, so we're going to start with a tape. This is an old one. It's one of mine, but maybe you haven't seen it. I wonder if you take this and you go back to Interlude 3 with the phone, if this directs you to WEVP. Or if you've seen it, it's been a while, so maybe you've forgotten. Ron whispering. Shit. What? She asked me to queue up her tape. Un pueblo de nada. Where is it? No. It's probably still shelved. I'll find it. Ron silently mouths a thank you. This tape should be on a shelf back here. Yeah, I think the jitteriness is just an issue with the V-Sync. I don't know what. Emily scans the shelf of videotapes. Maybe it's still in a stack? Emily rotates a few tapes piled on top of the shelf, inspecting labels. Emily to herself, absently, oh, that would be too easy. We should put this all in chronological order, although I guess it's hard to remember sometimes the order of things. Some of these tapes were made at the same time, or we started one video and then started another in the middle, and then came back later, and time is out of joint. It's like sweeping a beach. Oh, wait a minute. Something fell behind the shelf here. Emily pulls a grimy tape case from behind the shelf. Gross, it's damp. She opens the case. It's empty. Ralph borrowed it for screening, so it's probably with the others. Here, Aunt Connie reframed. Bear waste studies. Death of an airfield. Un pueblo de nada. Aha. What would you all do without me? I'll queue up Rita's tape now. Here you go, Mo. Hold off on playing this until Rita's done setting it up. Thanks, babe. Rita, some people that lived there a long time ago, before the company town, before the airstrip, like over 100 years ago. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it. Emily. Ready, Emily? I wonder what Maya thinks of the doc. This is cool. Have you seen it before? I should say something nice. Yeah, it's something else. You don't sound convinced. It's not a bad way to learn about history, though. Can't remember where she did a lot of research for this tape. People of nothing. Oh, okay. That's what it is. We still have a few of those worn-out notebooks they left. I guess that guy from the university took the rest. What did he say he was working on? Oh, right. The Archive of Utopian Thought. Some big preservation project, I guess. So now the people of nothing are on a shelf somewhere. And here, in this tape. It is history, right? Or is it just a story? It seems kind of sad now. I guess it's kind of a memorial. Those are always sad. A memorial to the people who used to live here. Or is there even a difference? Although, now the tape is just here on a shelf. Every once in a while we dust it off and it shuffles around the airwaves again like an old dog. Sorry, did I say something wrong? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just have some weird shit going on in my head tonight, you know what I mean? Sure, it's okay. Sorry I spaced out. Don't worry about it. You should... Oh, should I go sit? Yeah, it's almost over. Next up is Maya's interview. Rita to Maya. So, where are you staying tonight? You're in town. Oh, good. Yeah. Even before the storm came in, I thought it'd be nice to get some rest before the long hike back to the highway. Ron offered his loft? What? He said I could sleep in his loft. Oh, honey. He's talking about his barn. Ron, nobody wants to sleep in your barn. Ron shrugs. It's not haunted. Hauntings aside, it's not a very comfortable barn. I mean, I could sleep anywhere, but I think the last time Bob slept in there, he needed a tetanus shot after. that's Bob. He's a hypochondriac. I'm not sure he even really needed it. You'll stay at my place. Oh, thanks. With that storm coming, I should probably find somewhere to stay out here tonight. Maybe I'll just sleep it here in the studio. You need anything? Actually, do you have an extra toothbrush? It'd be nice to sleep under the stars. I think I do, actually. Yeah. Oh my god, I've been in the woods, you know? Right. I actually used a twig this morning. I kind of chewed up one end. No stars tonight, though. I've done that. Really? Disappointed. I thought I invented it. Even better, you can chew on some pine needles. It really freshens your breath. I mean, it's not perfect. Wow, that's roughing it. Just close your eyes and pretend, I guess. Right, exactly. And even then, it's not just the same as real toothpaste. They know we're rolling. Emily waves to Rita. To camera. Oh, hey. Hi, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Like I said, that was from, like, several years old. I can't remember exactly. I enjoyed it very much. Oh, thank you, Maya. Emily whispering to Ron. What's next? Brought in a tape. Okay, you good? Queued up. I'm gonna check on the boys. What the hell are they doing? Ben and Bob are seated on the couch, poking at the electronic innards of a radio. Ben, so then it won't mute while it scans between stations. Okay, because that's where they live, right? No, you just want that constant static noise. Right, noise. That's where they live. They don't live anywhere, dude. They're ghosts. Okay, why does it matter where you tune the radio? It's like soil in your garden. You need rich soil, right? Mashed up, rotted leaves and stuff. Like compost. Bob to Emily. Oh, hey, Em. How's the show? Ben has something stuck in his beard. Oh, you know. It's a piece of fruit? Sandwich meat? Pretty good progress on the ghost box. It's not okay to have meat in your beard. Scans constantly. I should tell him. Play it back later. You've got something in your beard. Radio crackles as it scans rapidly across the spectrum. Snippets of voices mixed with colored noise and unfamiliar interference patterns. Did you hear that? That was definitely a voice from beyond the grave. It sounded like, I clearly heard Dogwood in there. Yeah, kinda. It sounded more like Frogwood to me. What the hell is Frogwood? Man, I don't tell the ghosts what to say. Did you hear that, Emily? Must have been Dogwood. Dogwood, of course. I guess it doesn't matter. The ghost voices don't really come out until you play back the recording later. They only exist in recordings, like a copy without an original. A mirror reflecting something that isn't in the room. Eerie. Like the mounds. Burial mounds here in town? Think they're haunted? No, or sure, probably. But I meant like they're like the reflection. People who made them lived hundreds of years ago. That whole society is long gone, and now we just have these lingering echoes without any trace of context. Yeah, that is kind of eerie. So the ghosts speak and we can't hear it. The tape recorder can hear it? Is that right? I don't know. Sometimes I think it's more like the recording itself is a ghost. Like, that's what ghosts are. Recordings of events that didn't happen, when something keeps leaving new marks even after it's gone. False memories. The town looks really empty in the rain. I wonder if that's true in cities too. The rain makes it all look empty. I'm trying to remember. It's a big city I've been in when it rained. Oh, Chicago. Downpour on Western Avenue. Shelter in a gas station. Does it just look empty because everyone stays inside? No, there's something uncanny about a town in a thunderstorm. It's like a reanimated corpse. The bowls on the floor are getting full pretty quickly. I hope somebody's planning to empty these. Somebody else. James has been working on this circuit diagram for a while now. The diagram has been up on the chalkboard for at least a couple of months. It's a schematic for some essential component in the image processor. Nobody understands it but James. That's the point. He's trying to clean it up and simplify it a bit. He'll publish a simplified diagram and everyone can build an image processor. Meanwhile, it's like hieroglyphics in here. The schematic seems to get more eerie the longer James is away. He understands it, which keeps it tethered in the realm of the human. Otherwise, it might as well be lichen. I love the oscilloscope. You can plug any signal in here and it shows up on the screen. Sound waves, video signals, even just a weak electrical signal with no other purchase on the senses. You can inspect electronic sounds that are usually too low frequency to detect. Sometimes it takes a little tuning. James uses to show me the guess in our wiring here in town. There's a low hum, barely even a hum because it's too slow to be audible. A slow, gentle oscillation that offsets every other electrical signal in town. James hasn't been able to figure out what causes the hum, but it's okay. It's too subtle to cause any real problems for us. It's just there. More leaks. This is not sustainable. It's Ron's big moment. So, okay, Ron, anything that you want to tell us about that tape? Everything on that tape was wild. Really? Everything? Wild stuff indeed. Even the horses? Everything on that tape was wild. I bought some forged folk tapes at a yard. I bought some forged folk tapes at a yard sale once. The lady said they were live tapes of Gene Ritchie playing dulcimer at some local bar. They were pretty good too. A little noisy, the rattling bottles and chatty drunks, but it gave the recordings a certain aura of authenticity. Okay, let me turn down the... Let me turn that down a little bit. Were the horses wild? I thought those were the horses here. Oh, the neighbors? We call the horses here the neighbors. No, I didn't recognize that one. Then I noticed some of the background sounds repeating. Someone's telling the same hush story at the bar during every song. Door opening and closing in exactly the same way. The lady who sold me the tapes, she'd added the bar sounds artificially. I think she recorded the music herself in her bedroom, put Richie's name on it. I don't think there are any wild horses anymore. Really? How could that be? Oh, well, they've all been domesticated. Are the neighbors domesticated? You don't own them. No, they're, feral? Tapes live permanently in my truck. Over the years, they've become my favorite Ritchie recordings. Oh, right, in your documentary, you said people who used to live here had freed their horses. Exactly, but you can free your pet cat, but it won't turn back into a panther? Right. That's a kind of haunting, kind of ghost, like Ben was saying. But everything is a ghost around here these days. It's a ghost town. People still living in it. Against all reason. Most of the houses are empty. There's always been people here. After the Pueblo de Nada, community airstrip, and the company town, and WEVP. What about the dogs? Yeah, Ron, was the dog wild? Everything on that tape was wild. Somehow, just as the last group dies out, some new utopian project always finds a way to take hold. What is it about this place? It must be the well. Didn't look wild to me. I guess it's a matter of perspective. I'm not sure I agree. Now it's time for the weather. Thanks again, Ron. Hanging on long past our expiration date. Well, the weather should be pretty wild. I can hear it for myself right now. Yeah, getting pretty intense out there. You get storms like this a lot? More and more. Right, of course. And then, of course, there's the actual ghost. Alright, here's Elmo with the weather report, and lucky us, we also have Cyrano Cole, who stopped by to add some drama. Musically, I hear he's going to be at the Rum Colony later tonight if you need a cocktail after the show. Let's go live to Elmo for the weather report. Oh, is Elmo ready? I should make sure the camera's pointed in the right direction. Oh, good. Standing water on the floor and a hole in my boot. Cool. My socks are getting wet. I love to have wet socks. Looks like the ceiling panels are swelling a little. Is that really happening? Are we about to get drenched? Elmo and Cyrano are killing this weather report. Emily whispering, "Hey." Hey. This is so trippy. How did he work out those ratios of oil, water, and dyes? It seems so precise the way he drips them in one little half drop at a time. Must have been a lot of trial and error. Staring at a circle of light on the wall. Drip, drip, drip. Where do you get your supplies, Elmo? Roofs are leaking all over town. Ben has a guy in... Oh, wait, you mean the projection stuff? I mail-ordered these candle dyes. This other stuff is just mineral oil, like you can get at the drugstore. Projector. Flash flooding imminent. Projector, somebody just left it here, man. Incredible. Actually, it was that girl who does the pirate video stuff, you know, jamming our signal. Weaver. Yeah, our resident ghost. Ghost, huh? Really think she's dead? Does it matter? Of course it matters. Can't leave a ghost behind until you die, right? Ground quarter, folks. Head to the hangar. Well, that's one way to do it. But have you ever missed someone so bad you felt like they were haunting you? You've been in a relationship with someone where it feels like their ex-lover is always in the room? I see what you mean. Hey, you think she'll get us tonight? About time, right? He's right, we're about due. Plus, Saturn's in retrograde. So not that she keeps a strict schedule, but it's never longer than a month or two between. Oh, what just made me call them? I know they're bad for the general vibe around here, but... Can I be honest? Emily nods in mock gravity. Kinda like it when she busts in and takes over our signal. It's like a log falling on the road. Reminds you that this all used to be trees. Interventions, that's what he calls it. It's been going on for a couple of years now. Performances were cool though. I never saw her perform, but I heard about it. Oh yeah, I saw her do it a few times. I was into it. That first time she jammed our signal and showed up in our broadcast, I didn't know who she was. She'd already disappeared when I came in and took over her old job. She did lectures, right? Yeah, you could say that. I thought of them as storytelling sessions. She talked for hours and shuffled through slide after slide of shapes, numbers, weird constellations. Who knows what any of it meant. Everyone was so excited and confused, and scared a little, on the defensive. They still are. And this was her projector. Right. I don't know where she got it, though. Still works really well. I got a spare bulb at a resale shop, but I haven't had to use it yet. It's strange. I never think of what she's doing as hostile, really. Sounds like Elmo has the same impression. What happened to the rest of her stuff? I bet her slides are still here in the studio. Maybe with the posters? Sherry has all Weaver's old notebooks. I know that. She keeps them in her archive, you know? Big blue filing cabinet. The daisies painted on. Yeah, anyway, the really hard part to find is these two pieces of glass. They have to be paired very precisely. I had to get these from the clock store over in Glasgow. That's where they come from. Clock faces. Thanks for the tips, dude. Anytime, dude. Is that filing cabinet around here? Back to you, Rita. Thanks, Elmo and Cyrano. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what to think about Weaver because it's clear that she has some sort of... Because she showed up in the house. She showed up to Shannon on the television, like telling her go to the mine. I don't know what to make of her. She is weird. Thanks, Elmo and Cyrano. So next we have a selection from the video data bank. You're gonna like this one, Maya. This one's about caves. Ooh. Yeah, local caves. We play this one a lot. It's pretty cool. Telephone rings. Oh, but we have a phone call. Should we get it now or should we wait? Get it now, okay? Rita presses the button on the telephone next to her. Hello, WEVP. Yeah, Jeff, on the telephone loudspeaker. Just watching raccoons eat his garbage. Hope you all packed your lunch. Sounds like this is going to be a long one. Hey, babe. Slow-mo crow. Snap and then a chitter. Did you know, Weaver? A few caws and a caw. Oh, really? Did you ever see her lectures? Chitters. Sounds amazing. I would have liked to see that. Make her sound so normal. Talk to anyone else and it's like she had a second head. One of our little mysteries, like the out-of-towner. Single enigmatic coup. Oh, really? Did you know him well? A couple caws and then a pause as if more are coming. You never do. Oh, I had no idea. Whistles. It was terrible what happened to him. A single reassuring shiver. Hold on, I gotta lower the volume a little bit. He's still going! It's tough to hear it. You can't really hear him over the storm. Right. Justice someday. What a waste. Sad. Well, have fun. I'm gonna see if Jeff is done. Chitter and a caw. Someone, Amy I think, was tracking Weaver's appearances here. She jotted down the time and date whenever there was an intervention. Amy hasn't been by in a few weeks, though. When was the last one? Let's see what the notes say. Oh wait, she just wrote times, not dates. Oh, that's not very helpful. We're all at night, I guess that's a pattern. Oh, and here's Ron's recipe for mac and cheese. 6 cups of milk? Decadent. No leaks back here just yet. The tapes are safe for the moment. I have a bad feeling the situation won't last. Soon I'll be scrounging for a truck to protect the video data bank. The couch is getting a little damp, but Ben and Bob don't seem to mind. Probably too wrapped up in their project. Bob had some theories about Weaver's broadcasts. He was considering how she might be tapping into our wires here in town. He built a model, like a proof of concept. This big metal box you could wire up and use to take over our signal. It actually worked, but the thing needed too much power to run. Even a car battery could only keep it going for a few seconds. Weaver's broadcast just loops and loops, sometimes for hours. Consolidated Power doesn't pay any attention to this town anymore. They still have us on a strict energy budget. There's no way she's plugged into the grid. Oh my god, he's still going. Oh, okay, Mimi's character or who we didn't meet.
But I don't know where to go because it's a bit like, how do you go if it's a P.O. box? Where do you go? And they don't have it like their number again. It's like those they can keep pressing 0 and it doesn't work, and I don't.
Oh shit, the line's dead. The phone lines are such a mess up here. Alright, let's take the volume back down. Hello? Was that the storm, or was it the damn phone lines? Man, they're really flaky. Business as usual. He has a really soothing voice. That's Jeff. He's a regular caller. He's asleep. I think it is getting louder, Dog Nozzle. It definitely sounds like it's getting louder. It's leaking more. Maya indicates Ron, who's fallen asleep in his chair. Oh, well, let him sleep. Okay, well, let's play the tape. This is cave art. It's a classic around here. I'm excited. Looks like Mo's got this one all queued up. Way to go, Mo. I should let Maya enjoy the tape. So, if Weaver is a ghost, by some agreed upon definition and mechanics, that means WEVP-TV is haunted. Should we be doing something about that? Aren't you supposed to, like, have an exorcism or something? I mean, you can't just leave a place haunted. That would be negligence. I'd miss her, though. I guess there are good ghosts and bad ghosts. Like spiders. Good in the garden, bad in the shower. A loud crashing noise from outside wakes Ron up. What the hell? What was that? I'll check it out. Yikes, should we go help? Oh no, Oh, the tape is over. What did you think? That was great. Well, yeah, I like that one. That sounded pretty close. Oh no, is the power out? Or just the lights? I don't know, I'll take a look. Maybe a fuse blew on a relay or something? Some scared rat chewed a wire. Abandoned ship? Just kidding. Guess I'll take a look around and see if anything's smoking. Our little town must seem even more romantic now, huh? If it survives the night. Incredible how dark it gets in here. I wonder if that weird hum in our wires still shows up when the power is out. Of course, I can't check because the oscilloscope isn't working. That's the thing about rail mysteries. You can't even trust your instruments. Feels like feathers. Oops. Sorry, Mo. How are you holding up? I know you hate the dark. I'm not even going to think about the video data bank. It's fine, right? Surely it's fine. It's fine. This storm just wiped this town off the map. Where would everyone go? Did Elmo disappear into the woods, or go down to the Echo River and ply his trade there? They have weather down there, right? I wonder if the projector floats. Hope you're not late for your gig, Cyrano. Poor thing. She's soaked. Nikki, are you having trouble with... Oh, I spoke too soon. I thought your power was out. Yeah, it just came back on. Weird. Good, though. You made it. In this storm? Oh, I'd never miss the evening broadcast. To be honest, it's the only time I get to share my work. I wonder how many people even tune in at this point. Is she just reading her poetry to us here in the studio? Sure, of course, that's great. Wow, it's pouring out there. You, I think they have some paper towels over by the set. Oh, thank you. Well, ready to go? Ready. Some of the studio wiring is in puddles now. That's dangerous, right? Nobody else seems concerned about it. Okay, just gonna pretend I didn't see that. Okay, this ceiling is falling apart. Doesn't bode well for the room. Now we enter the cultural section of tonight's program. Did you fix it? Just came back on its own. It'll just take a second for the equipment to warm back up, and we'll be on the air again. Rita to Nikki. Spooky. It's a disaster out there. The neighbor's barn is basically underwater. Wow, so just completely flooded. Past Ron on the way in. He's going to take a look and see if there's anything he can do. Will they be okay? Ron knows what he's doing. He used to be a firefighter. It's a little bit different though, right? I guess. Nikki hands some wet paper towels to Rita. Oh, thanks. Nikki pulls a journal out of her jacket pocket. Brought my work. Oh, good. To Maya, Nikki reads her poetry. It's a weekly feature of our broadcast. Great. I look forward to hearing it. Yeah, I just hope that we can keep going. We lost power a little while before, right? Better get started then. To the camera reading. To the out-of-towner. What eagle flew you to your final bed? It was not men who brought you there to sleep. The men who left you bloodied then and fled had chosen mud and muddy water creek. Did wild turkeys gobble, dote, and care, and wipe the moss beneath your eyelids clear? Did cardinals pull the twigs out from your hair, and wash your hands and feet, and trim your beard? When wood ducks dressed you in your resting gown, and pigeons fashioned shoes from leaves and bark, who then sewed flowers into a burial crown? The one who made your headdress was a hawk. The men who broke your body, where were they? The vultures stayed home on your funeral day. And yelling, Emily, look at the monitor. Dude, be quiet. We're live right now. No, we're not. Look. That's not our broadcast. Damn, there she is. Elmo was right. What's wrong? It's her. Weaver. Oh, really? Tonight? Sorry about this, Maya. What's going on? Local prankster. She jams her signal every once in a while, whenever the stars align. Prankster? Not the word I would use. Damn, so what do you do about it? Just wait until she's done. We've never been able to stop her from jamming us. We don't even know how she does it. We should be back on in a minute, though. Don't worry. All right, I think that's it. That is it. So I will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, same as usual. And I will be finishing this game, streaming Act 5 and the final interlude, Death of the Hired Man. But that is it for tonight. I know it went long again, but I'm sticking to the format of one act and one interlude per stream. So, yeah, that is it. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern to finish this up. I'm looking forward to it. So, thank you all for watching. Have a good night. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.